92. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com. Live from Fred Jones Field on the campus of Kankakee Valley High School in Wheatfield, Indiana, the Regional Radio Sports Network and rrsn.com video present the 2024 Indiana High School football season and the Northwest Indiana football game of the week. And tonight it's a matchup and a season opening, conference opening game for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, who come in 2-0, and they're hosting the Andrean 59ers. 59ers with a deceptive record of 0-2. Broadcast coverage of the 2024 Kankakee Valley Cougars and Northwest Indiana football season on rrsn.com video, Facebook Live, and Regional Radio Sports is presented by the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. First Trust Credit Union with locations in Michigan City, LaPorte, Valparaiso, and Wheatfield. Hamster Group, commercial developer in Wheatfield, delivering quality you can build on at hamstergroup.com. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
The United States Marine Corps and the Semper Fi Fund. The few, the proud, the Marines. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. Ivy Tech Lake County with locations at Crown Point, East Chicago, and Gary, and online at ivytech.edu. Ivy Tech Lake County. Our communities, your college. Horizon Bank, exceptional service and sensible advice for over 150 years at Horizon Bank. CI Insurance with offices in DeMont, Rensselaer, and Lowell. Family owned and operated, part of our community since 1953, and on the web at ciinsurance.com. Nitco, get up to 100 megabits of high-speed broadband, the new IPTV television service, and the best Wi-Fi at nitco.com. And be connected, always, at Nitco. Family Express, award-winning made-to-order food from Cravens to Order, and services with locations throughout Northwest Indiana, including Route 10 and Wheatfield, and on the web at familyexpress.com. Property Management, Inc., Northwest Indiana, the highest-rated property management company in Northwest Indiana at PMINWI.com. Today's Northwest Indiana High School football game of the week on rrsn.com video and Facebook Live is also being brought to you by Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning on 7th Street Southwest in DeMont for award-winning service in Jasper County since 1988. Cuban Network, striving to provide highly innovative solutions to your unique technology needs. Countryside Realty and the Countryside Realty House Call with over 24 years of honesty and industry knowledge. Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. Toppin Inc., a family-owned remodeling and construction business servicing Jasper and Newton counties. They also service the communities of Bass Lake, Lake Maxinkuckee, Knox, and Culver, and they're on the web at toppininc.com. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest with stories and pictures of over 320 high school teams, 20 college programs, and the Indianapolis Colts. Available online at indianafootballdigest.com. Our game sponsors for today's Northwest Indiana football game of the week include Realtor Scott Miller of Pursue Realty Group and Berkshire Hathaway, a 5-star broker at listandbuywithscottmiller.com. The Hamster Group, for leaders in the community of Northwest Indiana. For quality you can build on, again, you can call them at 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. Rooted Influence, the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. To get your copy, go to Amazon or RyanSpencerLutz.com. Forest Ridge Family Dentistry, serving the dental, cosmetic, and restorative needs of Northwest Indiana and the Chicagoland suburbs. And personal injury attorney Dave Cox. If you're hurting or wrecked, call Cox. All proud partners of our coverage of the Kankakee Valley Cougars and the Northwest Indiana football game of the week on RRSN.com video, Facebook Live, and the Regional Radio Sports Network, LLC. Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. Well, the Kankakee Valley Cougars have turned into a prolific rushing offense. Their offense is led by Marco Castro, who is currently second in the state in rushing and probably about 10th in the nation with 660 yards on the season so far. But that's against Rensselaer, and that's against Wheeler. This Andrean 59ers defense has played exceptionally well in their own right. They were shut out in week 1, but they were leading Valparaiso in week number 2, and Valparaiso had to come back to get that victory. Do not sleep on the Andrean 59ers. Just a few short years ago, they were a state champion. Bring in my broadcast partner, Monty Lobb. And Monty, it's good to have you back here at Fred Jones Field, and you and Nick doing great work for us this whole season. Let's talk a little bit about what this matchup looks like. First of all, we talk about players on the field. We got to talk, number 1, about number 22. That's got to be Marco Castro.
We most certainly do, Vince. And first off, like you mentioned, it's great to be back at the friendly confines of Fred Jones Field here on the campus of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. And you're right, it all starts with Marco Castro, Vince. 600-plus yards in 2 games. He has about 340, 350 tonight. He could cross that 1,000-yard mark in 3 games, which is just absolutely tremendous. You don't see anybody doing that. So the Cougars are going to want to roll with Marco Castro early and often, but this Andrean front is big. They've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And you're right, that 0-2 record is not really indicative of what the 59ers are made of so far this season.
We also talk about how the offensive machine ran, as I learn how to speak. I have to go to Ivy Tech for some speech lessons. Last week it was Diego Arroyo who had a pretty good game.
He did. He flashed in some areas. I thought he made his best throw I've ever seen him make in the year plus that I've been covering the Cougars, with a great ball down the sideline to Adrian Eichmann, a 50-plus yard connection. Made some terrific throws, and I think just as much as the throws, I thought his pocket presence, his knowing when to throw the ball away. He didn't take quite as many sacks. That's still something he's working and improving on, but his knowledge of when to get rid of the ball, throw it away, was a little improved last week.
And speaking of Adrian Eichmann, we take a look at Adrian. Adrian had a pretty good game last week on both sides of the ball, and he did really well on the return game as well. Eichmann with 2 interceptions. He was our player that was hot from Cruiswick Plumbing. What does Eichmann have to do? Because Andrean likes to throw the ball. Yeah,
they certainly do. He's going to be a key cog on the defensive side of things. He's going to be asked to match up with both Jimmy Finley and Tyler Vo, who's a terrific freshman I'm sure we'll touch on here soon. But Eichmann is extremely important in coverage, and as I just mentioned, does great things on the offensive side of the ball as well. Had 100-plus yards, touchdown last week, does great things in the return game. So he's crucial in all 3 facets tonight.
Go ahead and take our first 2-minute video timeout. We're going to tell you what we're going to be doing in pregame. We've got a lot of work going on today. We also have a really good halftime guest. We had a chance to sit down and talk to the public address announcer here at Kankakee Valley, my good friend Mike Coffer. And if you didn't know, Mike's been doing this a long, long time. And when you hear the story, he wasn't trying to be the public address announcer. His daughter decided to volunteer him for the job, and 30 years later, he's a Kankakee Valley Hall of Famer. He is the voice of the Cougars. We'll hear from Kirk Kennedy. He's the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Talked a little bit about the good start the Cougars had and the trouble that they may have with Andrean this week. We'll take a look around the state and get you some early looks at Scoreboard Central. We'll also tell you what's going on our broadcast properties tonight, and we do have several football games on the docket tonight, including a good one down at West Lafayette, also on our network. It's Red Devil versus Red Devil as West Lafayette holds Lowell. And if you get a chance to take a look at that halftime, you might be interested in who they're going to interview. There's a word out there might be a basketball coach that coaches just up the road at Purdue who might spend a little time with our Todd Kibbe. All that happens after this 2-minute timeout. This is the 2024 Indiana High School football season and the Northwest Indiana Football Game of the Week on the Regional Radio Sports Network and RRSN.com video. Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, and we're going to remind you who our sponsored segments are going to be by tonight. National Anthem will be brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. Again, if you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. All touchdowns tonight are Countryside Realty house calls. Thank Monty Lobb for that. Countryside Realty, the preferred realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. When you're in the red zone, you're not just in the red zone, you're in the Family Express red zone. Anytime you're inside the 20s and anytime you're hungry, you should go to Family Express on the web at familyexpress.com. If you're hot, you're with Cruiswick Plumbing. Hot, cool, or if you need plumbing work done, Cruiswick Plumbing sponsoring our Who's Hot segment and our Keys of the Game brought to us by the Indiana Football Digest. And you can find them at indianafootballdigest.com. They'll also be sponsoring our Scoreboard Central update. So, Monty, let's go to one of our segments right now. Let's talk about Who's Hot. I think right now we can say pretty much there's two players on KV that are hot. The first player that's hot is obviously number 22, Marco Castro. But the other player that's hot last week was Andrean Eichmann. He did a heck of a job for the Cougars and really made a difference in all facets of the game.
Yeah, he really did, Vince. As we kind of highlighted just a few minutes ago, 100-plus yards receiving and 2 big-time catches. He's a burner out there on the outside, really stretches the defense, and does the exact opposite on the defensive side of the ball. He takes those burners away, does a great job in man coverage, and is a ball hawk as well. A couple interceptions, has a real knack for getting his hands on the football, and then the return game as well. Getting the ball in his hands, he's going to make something happen. Coach's
interviews, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this as well, Monty. Our Coach's Interviews segment is going to be brought to us by our friends at Ivy Tech. Ivy Tech, who actually sponsored our soccer preview show, and they do a lot with us, but our Coach's Interviews will be brought to us by Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech on the web at ivytech.edu/Lake County. Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary are their local campuses, their local locations. Again, you can find Ivy Tech all over the state of Indiana. Any town that's big, any town that's medium, any town that's even near another big town, Ivy Tech, Lake County is where you need to go. Talk a little bit about Kankakee Valley's defensive change in their alignment. When we talk about the starting lineups, which we'll be bringing to you in just a little bit, defensively, they moved Grayley Weaver up to the defensive line. He's slight in size, 6 foot, only 195 pounds. He's country strong, but also what they like about him is he's also country quick.
Yeah, he is country strong and country quick. But I think more than anything, he's just tough as nails up there, Vince. You could stick him anywhere in this line. You could put him at safety. He'd find a way to make it work. He really would. I think he's the toughest, grittiest player on this football team. You can plug him anywhere. He's going to make things happen.
We're going to take a 2-minute audio timeout. When we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. That's Kirk Kennedy. And then later on at halftime, we're going to hear from the Hall of Fame voice of the Cougars from the public address side. That's Mike Coffer. All that starts after this 2-minute timeout. This is Indiana High School football on Regional Radio Sports and RRSN.com video.
State Farm Insurance asks if you're feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation. You know, another year with no raise. Then let State Farm help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little farther. They'll go through your car insurance to make sure you're getting all the discounts you deserve. Discounts could add up to 40% and put a few hundred extra dollars in your pocket. Discounts may vary state to state. Danny DeTola, 2449 45th Street, Highland, 963-4444. Andrea Harbin, 6504 U.S. Highway 6 Portage, 762-5514. And Rob Rodakis, 835 Lincoln Way Avenue, Valparaiso, 476-7444.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your hometown credit union. First Trust Credit Union can help you score big with a game plan to support all your financial needs. Our lineup includes accounts, loans, and 24/7 online banking. So get off the bench and contact your hometown First Trust Credit Union team today at 800-276-6161 or firsttrustcu.com.
Personal injury attorney Dave Cox proudly supports Region football and wishes the Niners best of luck this season. We hope you never need his services, but if you were hurt in a wreck, call Cox. Attorney Cox is a life member of the $1 Million Advocates Forum and is dedicated to representing seriously injured victims of negligence and getting fair and just results. For a free consultation and to discuss his best game plan in your case, call or text 219-CALL-COX. That's 219-225-5269. Or check them out online at davecoxlaw.com. Cox Law Office, located at 8792 East Ridge Road in Hobart.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
CI Insurance is a proud corporate sponsor of all KV athletics. Please visit their offices in DeMont, Rensselaer, or Lowell. They have been family-owned and operated in part of our community since 1953. Check them out online at ciinsurance.com.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, we're in the pregame show. It is Pop Warner football night here, so there'll be a lot of youngsters getting introduced. There's also band members out here as well. We'll have the band bringing you the national anthem. Nick Borsman, of course, the band director here at Kankakee Valley, an award-winning music program. But I had a chance this week to talk to Kirk Kennedy, and Kirk Kennedy filled us in on what's going to happen with the Cougars. Pregame coverage continues here on Regional Radio Sports. It's a Week 3 matchup with the Andrean 59ers. And normally, Coach Kennedy and I talk on Tuesday mornings, but with the holiday, we thought we'd push it a day back. It's a Wednesday morning conversation with Kirk Kennedy. Well, Coach, a good start for you guys, 2-0. And Marco Castro's had a great start to the season, but Adrian Eichmann had a pretty good ball game. 2 interceptions on defense and a couple of long receptions with a touchdown. Talk about the start to the game. You guys were throwing the ball at the beginning, but it turns out that Eichmann had one of his better games at KV.
Yeah, Adrian was a key performer. Obviously, you look at what Marco did, behind that offensive line of ours, and he had another 300-yard game, and obviously, he was carrying the mail for us and ended up being probably the difference in the game. But, Adrian had a couple big plays on offense, a couple deep catches. Diego, laid the ball in there, and Adrian got that quick strike, on our first possession for, I believe, either 58 or 68-yard touchdown. I can't remember, but it was a big play. And Wheeler struck back and took the lead, and we were able to hang in there with our running game and then tied up 21 all to half. And we kind of took over in the second half, and it was 14-0 in the second half, so we ended up winning 35-21. And Adrian contributed there with a couple of interceptions, especially his second one was very key in stopping a scoring drive of Wheeler's, because if they score there and make it only a one-score game, things would have got pretty hairy. So, the key to winning games like that, especially when you're up and down the field for the large majority of the game, is, we had some guys making big plays, and ultimately that's going to help us down the road, when we get into our conference schedule.
Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning on 7th Street Southwest in DeMont has been servicing Jasper County since 1988. Since 2016, they've been voted 6-time best plumber in Jasper County and 7-time best heating and air cooling contractor in Jasper County as well. Their technicians are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help with any commercial or residential needs. Check them out at cruiswickplumbingheating.com or call their office at 219-207-3862. Cruiswick Plumbing, your trusted hometown comfort specialists. This week's opponent, the Andrean 59ers, they were leading against Valparaiso, and they're perennially a very good team. They've won a state championship or two, and now you take them on at Fred Jones. To me, it seems that Andrean is a little sneaky in terms of their record doesn't indicate how good they are.
They've played Maryville week 1 and Valparaiso week 2, and they're going to take on all comers with their program, and they're awful good. They look good on film. Their kids play hard. They're well coached, and we're definitely in for a challenge this week as we open up our conference schedule.
Let's talk about your time here at Kankakee Valley. You're into the third season, and so the stuff that you're trying to get done is now the younger programs have kind of taken it over, and they're doing the same thing. Talk about the transition. How long did it take you at Lowell to get your system in place to make your team a championship contender?
Well, if I recall, back at Lowell, I took over there in 91, and we won our first sectional championship in 92. So it was first year, I think we learned how to compete. We got better each week, and by year 2, we didn't really have that good of a regular season, but we kicked it into gear in the playoffs and ended up winning our first of many sectionals that second year. And, my time here with the staff we've put together and the way the kids have bought into our program, it's been very similar in like year 1, kind of getting a lot of our cultural things established and, our practice habits and our work ethic and, all the things that are so important to build a foundation to a program. And we got a lot accomplished year 1. Had a pretty good senior class that we kind of wish we'd had for more than 1 year, but that's the reality of the situation. And last year, with it being year 2, I think we played with more confidence, especially as the year went on, and you can see, we got tougher and we just competed harder, and I definitely think we made some progress year 2, which has kind of led to the start we've had here in year 3. So, and a lot of these kids are, the same kids that played key roles last year that brought back, for their junior and senior years this year. So, we've definitely been building slowly but surely, and looking forward to seeing what this season brings.
Today's game is being brought to you by Countryside Realty, the preferred realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Countryside's team of realtors is ready to handle your next real estate transaction with honesty, professionalism, and over 25 years of industry knowledge. Don't go unrepresented in one of the largest investments in your life. Call their DeMotte office to speak with an agent at 219-987. That's 219-987-SELL. 219-987-7355. Visit Countryside Realty on the web at 987cell.com or find them on Facebook. Serving all of Northwest Indiana, Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters, and the sponsors of the Countryside Realty House Call. You talked about your staff. Talk about your relationship with Brad Stewart. He coached as the head coach at KV, and it seems like the defense is really starting to click on all cylinders. Gavin Joy's having a great start to his season. You've really gotten nice contributions from Grayley Weaver, who switched from linebacker to defensive line. Talk about what Brad Stewart's defense has done and your relationship with Coach Stewart.
Well, Coach Stewart was the first call I made when I got hired here in the, I guess you'd say, late winter, early spring of 22. He's a great coach. He's been doing it a long time. We together at Lowell for around 20 years, and when Brad decided to come on board, I knew that the defense was going to be taken care of. He's the kind of guy that he doesn't believe in just one. He doesn't sit in just one defense, and he changes around what we do, and he as a coach, you want to put your kids in position to be successful, and he definitely does that. And along with Mark Deerdorf, and Carson Lewick, and he's just got a great staff that helps him out defensively. Justin Fuqua helps out with the defensive backs, and it's definitely a group project there on the defensive side of the ball. But Coach Stewart's our coordinator, and he does a great job organizing the defense, getting the scouting report together, the game plan together, and week in and week out, you never really know what what fronts or what coverages, what packages that he's going to put together. But, obviously week 1 with Rensselaer, the game was played mostly in a phone booth, with Rensselaer's inside running game. And week 2 with Wheeler, we were all spread out and defending a very different kind of offense. And it wasn't pretty at times, but, when it counted, I think, we stepped up to the occasion. So, those first 2 weeks, I think, prepared us well for the challenges the season is going to present. But, Coach Stewart is an outstanding defensive coach.
Okay, Coach, I'll give you a wrap. Tell me what you have to do and where you need to be at mid-game against Andrean to let us know that the Cougars may go 3-0.
Well, it's going to be a big key this week. First of all, to have a great week of preparation, heading into the game. Obviously, that's key. Preparation builds and equals confidence. So we want to start out there. But, just take care of the football. Don't be turning it over. Hold down on the penalties. Get a fast start. And if nothing else, at least build confidence and momentum. Andrean's pretty good, but we can't worry about that. We just focus on putting the best Cougar football team we can out there. And, if we can just hang in there, stay into the game into the second half, especially deep into the, fourth quarter. Obviously, I like our chances, but, last year, and just in reviewing the tape and getting ready for this year, we gave up a block punt and gave up a few big plays early, and before we could figure out we could compete with them, it was already like 17-0. So we can't do that this year. We just got to get a fast start and trade punches with them and hang in there and give it our best shot. But, this is a game that we can win, but we're not going to be able to make the kind of mistakes we've been making, which is maybe indicative of, the first couple games. But, our kids are confident. They work hard, and we're ready for a challenge like this.
It's Kirk Kennedy. He's the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Cougars trying to go to 3-0 and 1-0 in the NCC. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. This is Kankakee Valley Cougar football on the Regional Radio Sports Network and RRSN.com video. Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. When it comes to your technological needs, Cubit Networks cares about your quality of experience. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cubit Networks wants to build client relationships that withstand the test of time and changing technology. You can buy technology from anywhere, but Cubit Networks' dedication to making your purchase a great one is the difference you've been looking for. Give them a call at 219-369-4357 or visit them online at qubitnet.com. Cubit Networks, moving and storing data fast and safe. Did you miss the start of the fall semester at Ivy Tech Community College, Lake County? You can still enroll in classes that begin in October. Their next set of 8-week classes starts October the 21st. This means you have time this year to earn credits towards your degree or certificate. Whether you're fresh out of high school or a working adult, Ivy Tech has flexible programs that fit your schedule and budget. Visit ivytech.edu to enroll or apply. Call 219-392-3600 or visit their locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary. Let Ivy Tech be your first step to success. Looking to lead with purpose? Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is the game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together, they discover the true essence of leadership, Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon or go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more. Back here at Kankakee Valley High School, and Nick Shallon doing a great job of showing the future of Kankakee Valley football. They've got the Pop Warner cheerleaders, the Pop Warner football teams, and, of course, the band. It looks like the band's got the middle school band with them as well, because that band is huge. Kids in sweatshirts and flag bearers. And, Monty, I know you went to a pretty big high school, didn't you, in Ohio?
It was a decent size. Nothing
decent
crazy.
size?
I had a couple hundred kids. Nothing too crazy.
Kids. A couple hundred kids in my homeroom. What, are you kidding me? I had 900 kids in my graduating class.
Yours was way bigger.
Yeah. Well, Lincoln Way Central High School. After we have our national anthem, which should be coming up shortly, We will have the Cougars coming on the field. We'll bring you our starting lineups. Starting lineups are going to be brought to you by Family Express. Today's game is being sponsored by Family Express, your friends at Family Express. Remind you to download their all-new mobile app. Once inside, you can check your perks balance, find fuel prices for your favorite location, order fabulous food from Craven's to order, even get a car wash subscription to keep the street grime at bay. Join the digital revolution and go to FamilyExpress.com today. For the Kankakee Valley Cougars, who come in with a record of 2-0, 410 yards per game, 332 yards of those on the ground. Up front, it's Gavin Joy, Max Duttlinger, Mason Kitchen, Hunter Urbano, and Gavin Renfro. Up front, 4 seniors and a junior for this Cougar rushing attack. They're in front of quarterback Diego Arroyo, 5'10", 185-pound senior. So far, it's 9 for 17 for 156 yards and a touchdown, 10 rushes for -4 yards, but a 29-yard gain. Tight end for the Cougars is Jaden Anderson. He'll also be playing defense for the Cougars, 2 receptions for 16 yards. Also starting a wide receiver, but really more of a blocking receiver is Grayley Weaver, 6 foot, 195-pound senior on the outside. And Andrean Eichmann, who had a big game last week. So far this season, 4 receptions, 114 yards and a touchdown. 56 yards is his long gain. He also has 4 kickoff returns for 97 yards and a punt return as well. He also has 2 interceptions defensively. Nolan Kustra is the fullback. Last week, 3 rushes, 7 yards. He did find the end zone for a countryside relay house call. He's 6'1", 175 pounds and a junior. And the offense goes through Marco Castro, 6'1", 210-pound senior, 59 rushes, 660 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 20 yards. He's picking up 11.2 yards per carry. He's got a fumble this season that he lost as well. Offensively for the Andrean 59ers, up front it's John Lemaire, Ben Novak, Miguel Rivera, Cam Rosemanitz, and Rosemanitz. And then Austin Prelick will be out there as well. It's a big offensive line. Left guard Novak is 320 pounds. Rivera at center, 275. Cam Rosemanitz. Say it one more time. Rosemanitz. He's 71, is 200 pounds as well. Prelick, 200 pounds. So it's a quick line, but especially on the left guard and the center positions, 320 and 275. They're in front of quarterback Brady Ellish. Ellish, 6 foot, 170-pound junior. So far, 33 for 56, 287 yards. He's got a touchdown and three interceptions, 9 rushes, 9 yards, and a fumble lost. The wide receiving core is a good one, including freshman Tyler Vaux. So far, 12 receptions for 86 yards for the 5'8", 155-pound freshman. He's joined in the receiving core by Jaden Holmes, 7 receptions for 52 yards. And Jimmy Finley, who had a big game last year, 9 receptions for 155 yards and a score. Their tight end is Ethan Reyna. Reyna, 6'1", 200-pound sophomore, 2 receptions for 2 yards. Their running back, Elias Dumas, 9 rushes, 9 yards. He's 5'7", 170 pounds, and a senior. Those are the offenses for both of these squads, brought to us by Family Express. The defenses are being brought to us by Ivy Tech. Looks like we're getting ready for our national anthem, I do believe. The bands are on the field. They're waiting for the Cougars to take the field, so we'll get started. The defense is brought to us by Ivy Tech. Again, on the web at ivytech.edu. You can call them at 219-392-3600 or visit their location in Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary. Cougars are strong up front with Gavin Joy, Aiden Fuqua, Grayley Weaver at tackle, and Brady Sampson, the soccer transfer, if you will, playing defensive end. In the linebacking core, Marco Castro, Ed Ritchie, Isaac Deerdorf, and Jaden Anderson playing both ways, along with Castro. Defensive secondary is a good one, although they did give up some plays last week. Adrian Eichmann, Nolan Kustra, and Brev Whaley. Whaley, 6'1", 165-pound junior. He wears number 0. Defensively in the backfield, Eichmann has 11 tackles, Kustra with 7, and Whaley with 8. So you're talking 26 tackles in the defensive backfield. A little bit of a bugaboo for the Cougars. They're going to try to button that up today. The defense for the Andrean 59ers, they've given up 27.5 points per game. They gave up 38 in week 1, 27 in week 1 to Maryville, 28 last week to Valpo. Up front, Landon Murray, Rocco Allegretti and Angel Torres are up front. Their defensive linebackers is where they are strong. Elias Dumas, Ethan Reyna, Vinny Zupan. Anybody named Vinny's got to be a good player. And Charlie Sullers are on the outside. Big tackles from this linebacking core. Reyna already with 19 stops and a tackle for loss. Their defensive backfield includes M.J. Jeffries, Jaden Holmes, Jimmy Finley, who plays both ways, and Gavin Jones. Defensively in the backfield, Jimmy Finley already with 16 tackles and an INT for an Andrean 59ers team that gives up 27.5 points per game. Those lineups brought to us by Ivy Tech Lake County. Did you miss the start of the fall semester at Ivy Tech Community College Lake County? You can still enroll in classes that begin in October. Their next set of 8-week classes starts on October 21st. This means you have time this year to earn credits towards your degree or certificate. Whether you're fresh out of high school or a working adult, Ivy Tech has flexible programs that fit your schedule, and they also fit your budget. Visit ivytech.edu to enroll or apply. Call 219-392-3600 or visit their locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary. Let Ivy Tech be your first step to success. So they're waiting for the Cougars to come to the field. And, Monty, we'll talk a little bit about our keys to the game coming up from our friends at Ivy Tech. As a matter of I'm sorry, the Indiana Football Digest. I'm not sorry about the Indiana Football Digest. Sorry that I identified the wrong segment. But let's go ahead and talk quickly about our keys to the game from the Indiana Football Digest for KV. Besides Marco Castro getting a big yardage day, because I think Andrean's going to stack the box.
Yeah.
What are we looking at from the Cougars for keys to the game and Andrean as well?
Diego Arroyo has to be smart and decisive tonight, Vince. It has to be both, not one or the other. He's got to make smart reads, know when to throw the ball away, and he's got to be decisive in terms of getting the ball out quick, finding the routes that are there, Adrian Eichmann underneath, let him do more of the work. Be smart and decisive for the Cougars. That's a recipe for success.
For Andrean, what do you think?
I like their quarterback.
They're 0-2.
Yeah, I like their quarterback, Elish. I think he can sling the ball around the yard a little bit. Jimmy Finley really impressed me last year when we went up to Andrean and watched Andrean kind of unbutton the Cougars a little bit at times. Really took advantage of him in the second half. So Jimmy Finley was impressive. This Tyler Vo, freshman receiver, really is impressing me a lot from what I've seen as well. Does a lot in the kick return game, too. So they kind of have a little bit of an explosive offense when they get going. Elias Dumas has been around a little while, too, in the backfield. So Cougars have a lot to deal with in this 59er offense.
So the festivities and pregame are still going on. The the Pop Warner Kankakee Valley Cougars are out there. Cougars are starting to fill the tunnel. They've got the American flag again. Remember, tonight's national anthem will be brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. The band on the field getting ready to play the fight song. And again, it's a party here. We actually saw at Chesterton when they score a goal, they actually have a sequence in the lights. It makes a kind of a light show. KV has the ability to do that too.
I love it. We saw it last week at Wheeler when they were scoring touchdowns.
That's right. And we want to give a shout out to our friend Ryan Matthews, who helped us out last week.
Yep.
Ryan did yeoman's work last week. I thought last week's broadcast from top to bottom was some of our best work, and I was probably the weak link in the whole thing.
No.
Ryan did a good job of getting us produced and taking care of that, and he's on the road with Todd Kibbe.
Yep.
What a great time that'll be. At least Todd will have to say first down Red Devils. He won't have to get too confused. Our other games tonight on regional, and here come the Cougars. We also have our Northwest Indiana Duneland Athletic Conference game of the week. LaPorte is at Valparaiso. Penn's on the road as well, and we've got Tanner Camp on the call for that. We're here, obviously, at KV. And next week we'll talk a little bit about the schedule. But remember, we do have Indiana High School soccer. Tomorrow, mid-morning, we'll have our pregame show at 11:15. We'll be traveling with the Kankakee Valley Cougars, heading up to Maryville, where the Cougars will take on Bryant Pass Maryville Pirates. And then tomorrow night, I've got extra work. I'll be with Mike Knezovich on ONUTigers.com when we'll be doing Olivet Nazarene taking on Taylor University. Again, it's ONUTigers.com and our website, RRSN.com. The band's getting ready. We're getting ready for the national anthem. Again, our national anthem brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. So we've got about 6,000 band members up there too, Monty.
Yeah, we sure do.
So they're going to be asking fans to rise. It looks like it's construction night today for the student section.
Yeah, at least
Nick
neon.
Shallen can get a look at that. Neon with the helmets, and I guess this means that the Cougars are getting ready to go to work. That's got to be what it is. So again, the Cougars have taken off their headgear. Andrean 59ers are getting ready to enter the field. Here they come.
And again, Vince, love all the American flags.
I do.
No KV flags tonight. All American
I like
flags
it.
from the Cougars tonight as the 23rd anniversary of 9/11 is this upcoming Wednesday.
Coming up this Wednesday, yeah. I was at a golf outing. We had the golf outing. 9/11 happened, and that day I had to go around and pick up checks. It was one of the quietest days you ever want to know. And we had a golf outing that Sunday, and they had me do the basically the benediction, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Ugh.
So the Andrean 59ers are taking their helmets off as well. Kankakee Valley Cougars with their hands over their heart. Let's join Mike Hoffer to join us for the national anthem.
Let's join together as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Special thanks to those men and women here at home and around the world protecting our freedoms each and every day. Our national anthem brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. And now, Monty, I'm not going to take shots in anybody else's music programs or anybody else's band, but that's a high school music program.
That is. Nick Boersma does fantastic work here.
He does. My daughter was part of the marching band. Now, she wasn't a redshirt sophomore, okay? She was in the marching band here at KV for 6 years. So
Wow.
she was a 7th grader in the pit, an 8th grader in the pit, and as a freshman, she was on the drum line as a true freshman. She started as a true freshman, right? But shout out to Riley Gray. She's hopefully listening back home. And shout out also to my wife, Jennifer Gray. She hates when I mention her, and I have to do it because she is a graduate, a 1987 graduate of Andrean High School. There are Andrean refrigerator magnets on my refrigerator. I need a KV win. Coin toss has been getting ready to take place.
Well, not only that, she's a lovely woman as well. I've met her a couple times
That's
now.
nice that you say that. I'll get you that $20 that I owe you. So the coin will be tossed. Obviously, Andrean will be calling the coin toss as Andrean is the visiting squad. Referees are lining up strategically. If you take a look, the referees in a little bit of a formation. The third crew is brought to us by the the Northwest Crossroads Conference. If you want to be an official, go to ihsaa.org and click the word officials. Don't be just an amateur in the stands. Become a pro today. Andrean won the toss. They elect to defer. Kankakee Valley will receive. Cougars will receive the ball to start the ball game. They'll be defending the south end zone. So they'll have the wind in their face to start the second quarter. And here come the teams out to midfield. Again, Monty, our keys to the game now that we know KV is going to get the ball. Let's see what Andrean does in terms of stacking the box.
Yeah.
Remember that defense up front. Murray, Allegretti, and Torres, they go 220, 200, and 215. And up front, 14 tackles for Murray, 2 tackles for Allegretti, who kind of clogs up the middle. The linebacking core has got a ton of tackles because the guys up front take up the mess so the linebackers can clean up the mess. Already Reyna with 19 tackles, and Suppan has got 13 tackles, and on the outside, Sellers has got 21. So you're talking almost 50 tackles from those three, actually 60 tackles from those three positions. Dumas is on the outside. He's got 5 tackles of his own, so these linebackers are the key for Andrean.
Yeah, they certainly are, Vince. And Coach Kirk Kennedy mentioned in his pregame interview how important a fast start is. They blinked last year at Andrean. They were down 17 points before they realized they could play with them. So they got to come out, play fast. And that doesn't necessarily mean put points on the board immediately, Vince, but no big disasters, no fumbles on kickoffs, no penalties setting you back. Can't take bad negative plays to start the ball game.
So the returners for the Cougars are going to be Nolan Kustra and Adrian Eichmann, number 21 and number 38. Kicking off for the Andrean 59ers is P.J. Cusick. Cusick on the season is 0 for 2 for field goals, 3 for 3 in PATs. He's also their punter, averaging 39.1 yards per punt. So we'll see what Cusack can do with the wind to his back. It is a strong breeze from the north. Winds with gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Pre-game wind conditions brought to you by Property Management Northwest Indiana. You can find them on the web at PMINWI.com or call them at 219-318-1244. Their website, PMINWI.com. That's your pre-game weather brought to you by PMI Northwest Indiana.
Both Adrian Eichmann and Nolan Kustra more than capable of taking one back right here for a Countryside Realty house call.
We do thank our friends, including Joe Wagner, who got us on the internet. Man, we are flying tonight.
Oh yeah.
We did a test here. We'll see that. Make sure we say hi to the offensive coordinator from KV. Give him the thumbs up. That's always a good luck. So here comes the opening kickoff. It's an end-over-end kick on the way, and it'll be taken on the side by Kustra. Kustra at the 10. He's at the 15. Kustra with a lane. Kustra to the outside. He gets all the way up to the 26, and that's where KV will start. 1st and 10.
Solid return there by Kustra, able to navigate some traffic out to the right side. Quality field position here as they take over at the 26-yard line.
So let's see what the Cougars can do offensively. They're going to come out with Diego Arroyo at quarterback. He's behind the offensive line of Joy, Duttlinger, Kitchen, Urbano, and Renfro from left to right. In the backfield, he'll be joined in there by Castro. Receivers to the outside is Weaver and Eichmann. Anderson, the tight end, on the far side, and he also has Kustra in front of him in a power position. Here comes the snap. They're going to hand it right away to Castro. Castro already in the secondary. Castro fighting his way forward. He's gang tackled in there by a bunch of 59ers, including Ethan Reyna with another stop. Give him a gain of 4 on the rush. So 4 yards on that first rushing play, and Castro might be the bell cow. Remember, this season, Castro already has 59 rushes and 660 yards.
Yeah, it looked like there was going to be a bit of a lane there for Castro, but some of those linebackers for the 59ers came downhill in a hurry.
Parks ran the play, and so now he's in the slot. Again, they're going to hand it again to Castro. This is what's going to happen, and more tackle from the Niners. Another gain of 1. Yeah. Give the stop again to number 10. That's going to be Ethan Reyna. Reyna is a sophomore, 6'1", 210 pounds. He plays linebacker, so they're stacking the box. You can see the Niners are already communicating hand signals. Give him a gain of 2.
2 inside linebackers for the 59ers, Vince. Both underclassmen, but both very big-bodied players. Reyna runs 6'1", 210, and Suppan runs 5'11", 210 as a freshman.
Parks and Weaver to the near side. Weaver in the slot. Here comes the snap to Arroyo. I got it right this time. Again, they hand it to Castro. Castro's got a running lane, but he's cut in half. Castro got another gain of 2, but it's not going to be enough for the Cougars. They're going to go 3 and out. Give the stop to Gavin Jones from his defensive back position. So on that drive, 7 yards on the drive for Castro, but it's not enough, and they'll bring back Arroyo to punt.
Interesting play calls there from Kirk Kennedy. 3rd and medium, and he opts to hand the ball to Castro again and play field position here, hopefully.
This will be the 7th punt of the season for Arroyo. He's got 193 yards. He's averaging 32.2 yards per punt. That one's up the elevator shaft. It's an end-over-end kick. It hits at midfield, and there's a flag on the play. Another flag on the play, 2 of them. Weaver will down the ball at the 47, but let's see what the flag is going to be.
He's punting into some heavy wind there as well, Vince.
See what the penalty flag is going to be. Maybe on Kankakee Valley. Let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be holding on Andrean.
That's helpful.
So the ball was down at the 46, and they're saying holding, and then do we want to push him back? Kirk Kennedy says, oh, yeah, we do. I think Brad Stewart would agree with him. Brad Stewart in the black hoodie over there, Kirk Kennedy, doing the shorts. It's not going to be much longer that we can do the shorts. We are expected to get down to 55 degrees tonight.
And last week it was about 95 at kickoff.
Boy, it sure was. It was so hot we had to start a fire just to cool off. So they'll walk off the infraction, and Andrean will start on their own 33-yard line. So Andrean has the ball 1st and 10 on the 33. 9:52 to go in our first quarter of play. Andrean will come out with their strong offense.
Eager to see Brady Ellish in this offense play here this evening.
Brady Ellish is also being backed up by Stovall. Running back Stovall back up, 16 rushes. Here comes a man in motion. They're going to already look in this flat. Ball is in the ground, incomplete. And they blew that one up. They were looking for number 17 on a little bubble screen. That's Mark Grubbs, the junior. Grubbs gets the start. We didn't mention him in the starting lineup, but he's out there. Incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10. Clock stopped with 9:48 to go in our first quarter of play.
Yeah, it looked like Jimmy Finley there on the little wheel out in the flat was more open than Grubbs was, but opted for Grubbs, not able to connect.
So receivers left and right, slot to the outside. In the slot is number 11, Tyler Vo. He's a freshman. Alish he's going to look for the snap. He's going to hand it. Instead, it's an option handoff inside. A good running play. Give him a gain of 5. We'll call it 6. 6 on the rush for number 9. Stovall with the rush. Stovall is the backup, but he already has 66 yards and a touchdown. So 6 yards on the rush makes it 3rd down and a makeable 5. The line to gain is the 44-yard line. Clock still running, 9:22 to go in our first quarter of play. Again, twin receivers on the near side, and out to the far side is number 15, Jimmy Finley. Be careful, he's dangerous. Now it's going to be an option. They're going to carry it. Ellish has got all kinds of room. Ellish makes the corner. Let's see where he stepped out. And they're going to say Ellish got the line to gain. It looks like it's going to be enough for a 1st down.
Wow, just barely.
No, I think they should measure this.
Woo, I think they gave him a bad spot, too. I think he picked up another yard or so.
So Ellish does get just exactly what he needed. He gets 5.
Wow.
We'll call it 4 for Ellish on the gain. 1st down for the 59ers. Clock continuing to run. Ball now parked on the 44-yard line. Ellish with a nice read option. Put it in the hands of Stovall and then took it away. Stovall on the right hip of Ellish. Again, receivers left and right. Look for the Niners to run towards that side with Ellish. They do, and he gets stopped. Grayley Weaver in on the stop. He's joined by Anderson. Call it a loss of 1. Good job by Weaver.
What a play by Grayley Weaver. He's all over that one in the backfield. Looked like Ed Ritchie was in there, too, pretty quick.
So Weaver with the stop. As I remember to do one thing that I forgot to do.
Ellish a little indecisive there on the handoff. Probably should have let Stovall take it, but instead kept it himself. Nowhere to go.
You know, Monty, it'd be good if we had a scoreboard, wouldn't it? Scoreboard added to the clock there at the bottom. If you take a look, Andrean with their colors, KV as well. 8 minutes and 6 seconds to go in our first quarter of play. Again, twin receivers to the left side, including Vo in the slot. At the near side, it'll be Jimmy Finley. Here comes the snap a little high now. They're going to go to the other side. They're looking for a screen. Ellish gets it outside. He gets it in the slot. Good catch by Vo. Tyler Vo, the freshman, sure doesn't look like it. Called a gain of 8 for Vo on his first reception of the night. Niners have a makeable down in distance. It's going to be 3rd down and a short 2.
Brady Ellish did a really nice job of navigating that pressure, escaping out to his left. And Tyler Vo sitting down, coming back to the ball. Really nice 8-yard pickup.
So Vo now in the slot again. Again, he doesn't look like a freshman. Think about this. He's a freshman. He's 14 years old. Ellish back to bark the signals. Running back 7 yards deep. They're going to hand it to him. It's a run up front, and he's into the secondary. He's drugged down in there by Anderson, but it's another huge gain. Call it a gain of 7. 7 on the gain. So a good handoff inside to Stovall. He gets a gain of 7.
Yeah, Brady Stovall already picking up some big chunk yardage plays.
Picking them up and putting them down. If we do have a touchdown tonight, we'll get that replay. It'll be brought to us by Countryside Realty and the Countryside Realty house call. Ball parked directly on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Andrean. They're on the move. 6:52 to go in our first quarter of play. Play clock down to 8. Here comes the snap to Ellis. She's looking outside. Throws it easily outside to Vo. Vo with another reception. Give him a gain of 6. That's just a pitch and catch for Vo.
Sure is. And Vo looks to have a little wiggle to him as well, Vince. Get him in the open field. He's going to make guys miss.
What's a little wiggle look like? What's that? Is it one of these?
Yeah, I wish we had cameras on you right now.
A little wiggle. 6:25 to go in our first quarter. Play ball on the 35-yard line. Andrean, the line to gain is the 30.5. Finley at the near side. Vo is again on the outside in the slot, but it's a tight slot. Now they're going to go to Finley. Look out there. So Finley trying to get outside. Nice job by Eichmann to read it. But Finley, the ball is loose.
You're saying
the ground can't cause a fumble. Finley fought his way forward. That might be near the line to gain. And they're going to say he's just a tad short. So give him a gain of 4 for Finley on the reception.
I love that play call there, though, by Andrean. You've got your big physical receiver. Get him the ball immediately. More of the times than not, he's going to make the first guy miss.
To the outside is going to be Vo. He's joined out there by Mark Grubbs Jr., the sophomore. It's a young receiving core. Tight coverage for the Cougars. Now they'll hand it inside again. Ball covered very well. Into the secondary. He breaks free. Anderson trying to make the tackle. Into the end zone. No, he's short. They're going to say he's just short.
Number 5, Javier McCoy on the carry. He's a freshman.
So Javier McCoy gets a 29-yard gain all the way down to the 1-yard line. McCoy with he is the real McCoy. Nice job by McCoy to get the carry. They're into the Family Express red zone.
How long was that run, Vince?
29 yards. So 29 yards on the gain. Andrean knocking on the door. Remember last year KV was down 17-0. Cougars are going to try to avoid that pitfall again.
McCoy's first action of the night. He runs 6'1", 200 pounds as a true freshman.
So Ellis is in the backfield, and there's going to be a timeout called by the Andrean 59ers. We'll take it as well. 4:43 to go in the first quarter. Play Andrean on the doorstep on Regional Radio Sports.
If the world we live in spoke to you, it would have a torrent of things to say. It would say meaning is subjective. Belonging, just opt in. Be sure to comment and like. It would say follow us, provide purpose. We say there is another path, where you battle to belong, where there's a cause to fight for, where you earn a place among the few, the proud, the Marines. Learn more at marines.com.
Did you know that PMI NWI is the highest rated property management company in Northwest Indiana? Whether you own one property or multiple, they're here to make your life easier. No contracts required. Let Property Management Inc. handle the headaches while you enjoy your investment. Visit them at PMINWI.com or call them at 219-318-1244 and let them see how they can help you get the most out of your properties. And don't forget to check out their Google reviews, their website, PMINWI.com. So back to live action. 4:43 to go. Niners on the doorstep. They keep the running back in the freshman's hand, Javier McCoy. I look to run to the far side. If you take a look, Ellis is going to take the snap. Play clock down to 19. Ellis hands it to McCoy. McCoy waltzes his way into the end zone for a countryside realty house call. So
Very
McCoy
nice
finds the end zone from 1 yard out. Touchdown, Andrean.
Impressive drive there from the 59ers. They really had their way with the Cougars on that drive. Couple different running backs. Javier McCoy is a true freshman, punches it in. We saw Brady Stovall. Ellis, quarterback, got outside on a run as well. Nice drive.
5 minutes and 14 seconds time on the drive. 10 plays. On for the extra point is going to be Cusack. Here comes the snap. Ellis on the hold. He puts it down, kick on the way, and it's way good. So with 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go in our first quarter of play, 7-0 Andrean with the lead, and we're taking to 60 on Regional Radio Sports.
Nitco is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let Nitco bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new Nitco Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order Nitco Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at Nitco.
So welcome to the big time. Javier McCoy gets the touchdown. Javier McCoy finishes off the drive from 1 yard out. 7-0 Andrean. Again, 5 minutes and 14 seconds on that drive. Cusack with the extra point. 7-0 Andrean with the lead. So Cusack will go back to kick. Back to receive will be Eichmann and Kustra. Look for them to kick towards Kustra. And they do. Actually, it goes to Eichmann. Eichmann will take it in the end zone for a touchback. Cougars will be in business. 1st and 10 on their own 20. So 4:38 to go in our first quarter of play. We thank our friends at Family Express again for providing the press box food. You can find them at familyexpress.com for cravings to order and all the other sundry items they have. Monty, I'm telling you what, the pizza there, my favorite pizza's got to be
the breakfast.
I like the breakfast, but I really like the margarita pizza. It's all tomatoes.
Yep.
So good.
The Wing Wednesday going on
Wing
over
Wednesday
there, too.
going on, too, as well. So, again, the Cougars back in action. They've got Castro in the backfield. Again, Marco Castro's got to have a good game. Instead, they're going to come to the outside. They swing it out to Kustra out of the backfield. Kustra might have gotten a gain of 1. So they used Castro as a decoy. They get a 1 yard gain to Kustra. Call it a gain of 2. So Cougars are up to the 22 yard line. Second down, we'll call it 8, 4:17 to go in our first quarter play. Andrean with a 7-0 lead. Parks is in the slot. He's got Eichmann joining him on the left side, so 12 and 21 to the near side. Kuster in a power formation on the right side of the formation. And Parks just jumped off sides. Parks forgot to step
for the Cougars.
They had offensive penalties last week that hurt them as well. So it's going to be a 5-yard illegal motion call. So the Cougars will now be second down, 13 yards to go. But let's see. The referees are discussing it. Did the defender jump first? Maybe it's offsetting penalties.
Could be. And again, when Coach Kirk Kennedy talks about a fast start, tough to go 3 and out on 3 run plays, come back, give up 7. You got an offensive penalty. Not the fast start.
Whoa, it was encroachment.
All right.
Okay. Encroachment called on Andrean.
That's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Makes it second and manageable here.
So they're going to walk off 5 towards the Andrean end of the field. So it'll be second down, and we'll call it 4.5 yards to go. Ball resting on the 26-yard line. 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go in our first quarter of play. KV trailing 7-0. Now they'll hand it again to Castro. Castro fights his way through to the secondary. Castro fights his way forward for a first down. Give him a gain of 6.
That's more like it right there for the Cougars.
Castro is going to have to go home and probably have some liniment, some ice, and Tylenol.
Epsom salt bath.
Tylenol. Marco Castro's a beast. He came up for an interview with one of our colleagues up here. Kid's huge.
Yeah.
He's as tall as you and as wide as me. That's not good. Now they're going to look for an option outside. Instead, it's going to be held on. Arroyo keeps it. Arroyo falls forward. Let's give him a gain of 2. So Cougars trying to get that vaunted running game going. Kankakee Valley on the season averaging 332 yards a game on the ground.
And I think that was a wise decision there from Arroyo Events. He could have pitched it outside, but there was already some 59er defensive players out there. Just tucks it, takes a couple yards.
Thanks again to our cameraman, Nick Shallon, for doing yeoman's work down upstairs. Again, great pictures from Nick. Good job as always, Nick. Twin receivers, one of them's Weaver, the other one's Eichmann on the near side. Let's see what the Cougars do. They'll hand it again to Castro. Castro can't go anywhere. He's bottled up in the backfield. He lost 2. Call it 3. Give the tackle to number 6, Charlie Sollers. Sollers already with a good season. We're going to call it a -3 on that carry. Castro going backwards.
Yeah, this linebacking crew for the 59ers is no joke. They're flying around.
Castro may get his 100 to 150 yards, but it'll feel like a disappointment after he's thrown up 336 in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
660 yards for Castro. Again, if you looked at social media, a lot of people talking about Castro and the start that he's had, and well-deserved. Again, the Niners crowd the box now. Arroyo to the outside. He's got Kuster in the flat. Kuster to the outside, but it's a great open field tackle. He almost broke it back to the original line of scrimmage. Nice tackle on the outside by Ethan Tanzio on the outside. So we'll give him a gain of, call it 3 on the reception. But again, the Cougars have to punt.
Good to get the ball out quick there, but Kuster just couldn't make that pivotal defender miss to pick up the yardage needed.
So Arroyo back to punt. Vo back to receive. Again, Vo the speedster. Arroyo gets it off. The wind died down. Now Arroyo with a little spinner out there.
Much better punt.
Weaver taking a look. He's going to let it continue to roll. Nice job. It'll stop at the 30. And that's where Andrean will be in business. 1st and 10. Nice job by Castro on that punt.
Cougar D maybe can get a stop here, get the ball back for the offense.
So 3 minutes on the drive for Kankakee Valley. They only had 5 plays for 3 minutes. Again, they had to punt to the 59ers.
Yep.
59 Broadway in Maryville.
This is a talented football team with a lot of size.
It is. I had the good fortune to call the state championship game with Drake Bowen when Bowen was I do believe he was a senior. He might have been a junior.
Yeah.
And now Drake Bowen, starting linebacker at Notre Dame, a little school you might have heard of, Notre Dame.
I've heard of it. Had a nice win against Texas A&M
They
on the road.
They look good. They look good. And looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field by the 59ers. They're second of the first half. Personal injury attorney Dave Cox proudly supports region football and wishes the Andrean 59ers and all region teams best of luck. We hope you never need his services, but if you were hurt in a wreck, you should call Cox. Attorney Cox is a life member of the $1 Million Advocates Forum and is dedicated to representing seriously injured victims of negligence and getting fair and just results. For a free consultation and to discuss his best game plan in your case, call or text 219-CALL-COX. That's 219-225-5269, or check him out online at davecoxlaw.com. The Cox Law Office is located at 8792 East Ridge Road, and that's in the garden spot of Hobart. So, Monty, did you go with the pulled pork?
Went with the spicy chicken.
Okay, spicy chicken sandwich. Again, the press box food this entire season is being provided by Family Express. They're on the web at familyexpress.com. 1:38 to go in our first quarter of play. Kankakee Valley trailing by a score of 7-0. Again, Eilish back to quarterback of the Niners. Man in motion is their tight end, Reyna. They'll again get a handoff on the inside. And there's an excellent stop. We'll get a number here in just a second. I think it was Grayley Weaver. It was. Actually, that was
Castro.
Weaver and Castro inside, so no gain.
That was an angry tackle for Marco Castro.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
He planted him in the ground.
It's AstroTurf. Nothing's going to grow there. Minute and 15 seconds clock running. Play clock already down to 19 seconds. Andrean 2nd and 10 after the play with no gain. Receivers left and right. Again, Eilish in the background, in the backfield. There comes Solers in motion. There comes Vo back around the formation. They're going to look for Vo in the flat. No, they're going to come near. And Sellers couldn't hold on to it. Solers had it. He just ran before he caught the ball.
Yeah, he
it's
did.
an incompletion. So good defensive stop so far for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. And don't forget, the wind direction will change at the end of this half, at the end of this quarter.
It's be huge to get the ball back here. Sellers had some green grass in front of him, too. Maybe could have picked
turf,
up 10
dude.
yards.
Nothing grows, man. Again, give a shout out to all our crews on the road tonight. Go to our website, rrsn.com, for time, scores, and schedules, and a listing of the regional radio sports network affiliate in your area. Ball sits on the 30-yard line with 50 seconds to go. Again, back to Eilish now. He'll play action. Gets out in the flat. He's got a man, and it's a good up and under move. Excellent job defensively by Eichmann to close. That ball was way too tall, and you would think Jimmy Finley at 6'1" could make the catch, but it's our first 3 and out for Andrean. They're going to have to punt.
Yeah, just simply an arid ball there from Brady Eilish. I mean, nice comeback timing route there with Jimmy Finley. Ball was there on the right time, just too high for the tall Finley.
So Kankakee Valley will get the ball for the 3rd time in the first quarter. So far, not much to show, but Andrean finally stopped defensively.
Could be better field position here for the Cougars, too, depending on the punt.
Yeah, but the wind is going to be a factor. Here comes Cusack with the punt, and he turns it over. That's a great punt.
Big roll.
Oh, and
too.
it's got a huge roll. It's going to be inside the 20, possibly inside the 10. Still rolling down to the 5, and that's a beautiful punt for him. Whew. Call it a net gain of 75 yards on that punt.
The ball rolled another 25.
So that punt was 75 yards.
Well, Cougars got a long way to go here, but why not now?
Why not now? Why not us? Cougars will start 1st and 10 on the 4-yard line. 26 seconds to go in the quarter.
A lot of feeling out here done in the first quarter so far, Vince.
So 1 minute and 12 seconds the time of that drive.
Can't have some negative plays here.
So the Cougars are going to hand the ball, of course, to Castro. Castro trying to fight his way forward. He does fall forward. He's hit late, but no call. That's something that the Niners are not afraid to do. Give him a gain of 1.
Really tight quarters the Cougars are working with here.
Kankakee Valley's going to let the clock run.
I think that's smart.
So the clock is going to wind down, and that'll be the end of our first quarter of play. And at the end of one stanza, the score is Andrean 7, Kankakee Valley nothing. We'll take a 60, and we'll be back on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and a proud father of a United States Marine? Let me share with you something very close to my heart. It's called the Semper Fi Fund and its program America's Fund, which provides immediate lifetime support for post-9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org.
Dr. John Szymanski is an exclusive Lumineers dentist. He can give you a dramatic new smile without the painful tooth grinding of traditional veneers. Lumineers porcelain veneers painlessly and permanently create perfect smiles without dreadful shots or removal of painful tooth structure. Whether your teeth are stained, unevenly spaced, or crooked, even if you have crowns or bridge work, Lumineers eliminate the trauma of invasive dental procedures to bring you a dramatically more beautiful smile. Contact Dr. John Szymanski today at 219-756-2345 and mention that you heard this ad to receive a special discount at Forest Ridge Family Dentistry.
Back to live action, the reception by Weaver. Weaver gets a gain of 4, so Grayley Weaver with his first reception of the season. And yes, I'm partial to Grayley Weaver. Grayley Weaver works at the local grocery store for me.
That's our guy.
Always sells me my chocolate ice cream. Makes fun of me about it, too. KV now 3rd and 6, ball on the 8-yard line. Clock winding, 11:28. The teams have switched directions. Let's see what they can do. They've got Parks and Weaver in the slot on the near side.
Big play here to get out of their own way.
They hand it to Castro. Castro fights his way forward, but he doesn't get there. Give Castro a gain of 3. So, Andrean, it seems like their plan is bend but don't break.
Yeah, they are really impressed with both these underclassmen inside linebackers, Ethan Reyna and Vinny Suppan really doing a good job crashing downhill, getting to the ball carrier.
So the Cougars have to punt one more time. 4th and 2.
At least Arroyo has the wind to his aid this time.
Well, it's not punt. It's not a fake situation, but Arroyo's done that before.
Mm-hmm.
Arroyo up the elevator shaft, and that's a beautiful kick. Vo takes it at the 48. Now Vo gets past midfield. There's a flag on the play. Ed Ritchie with the tackle, but it looks like it might be holding on Andrean.
Really good sound punt coverage there from the Cougars. Really
Absolutely.
impressed.
And remember, we'll show you our replay as we bring that up for you. Show you that punt from Arroyo and the coverage from Ritchie.
Ed Ritchie's played a nice game tonight.
He has.
Does a great job from that linebacker spot, locating the running backs.
Bo makes the cut, and then Ritchie gets in there and gets a stop. So the tackle made, and the call was holding. So they're going to walk the Niners back from the spot of the foul. Holding's a spot foul, and that's dangerous because Andrean was in good shape with Vo with the return. Instead, they're going to walk it off, put Andrean all the way back to their 41-yard line. That's where Andrean will start 1st and 10.
Cost him about 15 yards there.
So 10:27 to go in our second quarter of play. Andrean with a 7-0 lead. And I will make one change in my scorecard real quick. I will take 2 timeouts off Andrean. Back to pass. And he's got him. Finley with a catch, and he dropped it. Finley was there. That was a good wheel route. You're right, it was a go ball. Finley was there. Eilish had him dead to rights. Finley, again, the second receiver for Andrean that had the ball and just did not make the play. Again, you take a look. It was a stop-and-go route.
Mm-hmm.
So Finley was there looking like he was going to run an actual quick screen. Instead, he stopped and he left. Left Kuster in his trail, but couldn't make the catch. They may look back on this ballgame and wonder if maybe that was a difference maker.
And when he stopped originally, Eilish pump-faked right at him, which sold Kustra, left the deep ball open.
Sold me as well. Now they hand it off inside. A good job by Anderson to block it up. Weaver joins him in on the stop. Also in there would be Brady Sampson.
Marco Castro, too.
The whole defense. Call it a gain of 2. So 2 yards on the pickup.
Javier McCoy.
10 minutes left in the quarter. Andrean will have the ball on the actual 43-yard line. 3rd down and long down and distance. They do have a really strong passing game.
They do. I'm really surprised Finley didn't haul that one in.
I got to move this burger out of my way. Eilish barking out the signals. And there's a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is going to be. It's illegal motion on Andrean. So the Niners are going to go back another 5. So that'll make it now 3rd down and 13 as opposed to 3rd down and 8.
59ers not helping their own cause here with a few penalties.
Andrean 0-2 on the season, but again, you can see a powerful offense, a lot of size, a lot of speed, and defensively they figured out Marco Castro just a little bit.
Yep.
So Eilish again barking out the signals. It's a tight formation. Let's see what the Niners run out of this. Again, Eilish looks at Sampson being held. Ball to the outside, incomplete, and there's another flag on the play. That's got to be holding on number 77 for Andrean. Ben Novak took Sampson down. I thought he was in a wrestling move, but it's going to be a 10-yard penalty for holding.
Well, Eilish missed the receiver because Mark Grubbs Jr. was running wildly free deep in the secondary and completely missed him.
Let's see what Kankakee Valley does. It's holding against Andrean, and they're going to push him back. Instead of taking the down, they decline it. So that makes it 4th down. That's exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Yep. He legitimately missed Grubbs on what would have been a touchdown.
So 4th down is the play, so they're going to go back into punt formation. Now, this is where KV can get some yardage back because it is a strong wind, although Old Glory's starting to die down a little bit. We've had a battle of the punts so far.
Yeah, we have. Low-scoring affair.
7-0, and here comes the snap back to Cusack. He almost loses it. Gavin Joy was in there. Ball spins sideways. It'll go out just around the 30-yard line. That's exactly where they're marking, and that's where KV will start 1st and 10. So KV on their own 30 with 9:11.
See if the Cougars here can just pick up a first down and just start to get some things rolling. They need some momentum.
In the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana, look no further than the Scott Miller Realtor. He's a 5-star rated broker with numerous awards and accolades such as top 1% of all teams within Berkshire Hathaway nationwide. We'll get back to Scott's read here in a second. Scott Miller, what a good guy.
He is.
Had a good chance to talk to him. I can sit there and do the read, but I can tell you if you want to trust a real estate professional, Scott Miller's your guy. BHHSEXECUTIV.com as they give it to Castro. Castro's got a convoy out there. Castro's still on his feet. Castro still fighting way forward. He's all the way up to the 46-yard line. Give him a gain of 16.
Marco Castro's best run of the night by far, Vince. Able to get outside the tackles. Maybe that's a key going forward here for the Cougars. Lanes have been clogged on the inside. Maybe let him get out in space.
His website, scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com for results that move you. If you're in the market to buy, sell, or both, you know what time it is. It's Scott Miller time. Scott was born and raised in Northwest Indiana. He's a region guy. So again, it'll be Arroyo barking out the signals. Here comes Kustra in motion to the near side. Weaver on our side. Again, they'll hand it to Castro. Castro fights his way forward, but not this time. And Andrean trying to take the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
They're punishing him. They call it a loss of 1.
He had to double clutch that football. Never good, Vince, when your right tackle's laying on the ground at the end of the play.
Absolutely. Again, we'll talk a lot about Scott Miller tonight. He's a proud supporter of student athletes on the regional radio sports, and he actually played for Paul Condrey.
No way.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
2nd down and 11, 8 minutes to go in the quarter. Ball on the 45. Anderson puts his hand down on the turf. Arroyo fakes out. He goes to the outside. Arroyo's got a man in the flat. Here comes Kustra. Kustra to the outside. He fights his way forward. It should be a first down for the Cougars, and it is. Give them a gain of 11. It was Arroyo to Kustra. Here come the Cougars on the move.
Vince, that pump fake by Arroyo is exactly what I'm talking about when I say he needs to play smarter and be more efficient. The pocket collapsed on him. He gave a little bit of a pump fake, bought himself some more time as he was able to get outside and find Kustra in the flat.
So here comes the Cougars offense. They're into Andrean territory. Ball on the 44-yard line. 7:27 to go in the quarter. Again, Arroyo barks out the signals. He's going to hand the ball again to Castro. Castro fights his way forward. And every single time, 4 or 5 59ers in on the stop. This time enjoined by Ethan Reyna. Reyna's had a good game already. Give Castro a hard-fought 1-yard gain.
I think they got to get back out to that pitch play. Get him in space.
Yeah, get him out in space.
Inside runs are just not working right now.
Parks brings the play in. They'll take Weaver out. Weaver already looking like he's doing some work. We've called his number a couple of times on defense. He's also got a reception tonight.
He's just a competitor. Tough as nails.
He is. He sells me chocolate ice cream. 6:46 to go in the quarter. Kankakee Valley on their 43-yard line. It's 2nd and 9. Arroyo again waiting for the snap. Here comes Eichmann in motion, and that's that jet sweep they ran last year. Eichmann to the outside, fighting his way forward. Good job and good play design by the Cougars. So they bring the ball to 7, and the fans are about ready to say what I was going to say. Put the ball in your right hand. He had it in his left hand on the inside. They only give him a gain of 6.
Still, though, Vince, much better. They get the ball outside the tackles, making more things happen.
Makeable down and distance for the Cougars, and they're almost in field goal range. Ball on the 43-yard line. They hand it to Castro. Castro falls forward. He's not quite to the yard to gain. He gets 2.
I think you got to hand it off to him again.
I think you go for it on 4th and 1. They trail 7-0 with 6:18 to go in the quarter. Last year, Kankakee Valley was down 17-0 before you knew it.
Punt doesn't do much for you here either.
So Arroyo waiting for the signals. Bringing the play in for Kankakee Valley is going to be Jason Parker. Cougars have got to get going. Play clock already down to 13. Kitchen will lead the offensive line out. Cougars, if they're going to win this ball game, they've got to get this 1 yard.
Should be only one play here.
It is one play. They hand it to Castro, and he didn't get there.
Nope.
It's a loss. We'll call it no gain. But Castro gets stonewalled by that Andrean defense. You knew where the handoff was going to go to Castro, but it was stopped on downs.
Yep. You did. Just interior couldn't quite hold up on that one.
So Castro was stopped on the handoff. It'll be a turnover on downs.
That's tough to come away with no points there, Vince, because it was a really nice, long, sustained drive. Get into opposing field position, just unable to convert.
So Andrean takes the ball over on the 36. They've got 5 minutes and 43 seconds to move down the field. KV ate up some time on that drive, though, Monty.
They did.
Call it 3 minutes and 54 seconds time on that drive. And they gained some yardage. They gained almost 60 yards, but, again, Cougars are back on defense. Eilish now back again with the signals being called out for the Niners. Now Eilish will have an inside handoff.
Uh-oh.
And the run is still being run. Now a tackle downfield, way downfield.
15 yards for Stovall.
Call it 16 for Stovall. So a 16-yard gain for Stovall. Notice how he holds the ball when he comes through the line, Monty.
Mm-hmm.
Both hands.
Couple good backs, too. I'm impressed with McCoy as a freshman. And Stovall's done good work tonight as well.
So Stovall came in with 16 rushes and 68 yards. He's got a lot more tonight. He's already got a touchdown this season. Niners are now parked 1 yard into Kankakee Valley territory. It's 1st and 10. Clock running with 5:16 to go. Again, Eilish barking out the signals with Stovall right there. They'll hand it to Stovall again. Stovall this time is stopped. Gavin Joy in on the stop. Also Ed Ritchie in there.
Yep.
No gain.
Ed Ritchie's making some nice plays tonight. He's got 5 tackles already.
So Ritchie with 5 tackles. He's joined out there by the man, the myth, the legend, Gavin Joy. Gavin Joy's made a few big plays for the KV defense this year.
Certainly has.
So Clark brings the play in for Andrean. It's 59ers offense. A little bit of trouble this season as we take a look. 207 yards per game. They've got that much already. So Eilish will ask for motion. He gets it. Now they're going to look to roll to that side of the formation, but they go back with the backside screen.
Oh, they're going to
and there's a flag. It's going to be an illegal man downfield. Nice job. Nice play design, but I think they had a man downfield. Eilish threw the pass in the flat. Ethan Reyna was wide open. I think there's a reason for it. Let's see what the call is going to be. See what the officials are going to signal. It's a player down for Kankakee Valley as the trainers come across. I think it might be face mask on KV.
I don't know.
Let's see. They're talking to Andrean sideline. Try to get a number for the player that's down for KV. But let's see what the call is going to be.
Aiden Fuqua, I think, is the one down.
Holding on Andrean.
Yeah, Aiden Fuqua down at the far sideline.
So Aiden Fuqua is down on the far side. Holding is the call on Andrean. We'll go ahead and take a quick 60. Andrean with a 7-0 lead, and you're listening to it on Regional Radio Sports.
State Farm Insurance asked, if you're feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation, you know, another year with no raise, then let State Farm help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little farther. They'll go through your car insurance to make sure you're getting all the discounts you deserve. Discounts could add up to 40% and put a few $100 extra in your pocket. Discounts may vary state to state. Danny DeTola, 2449 45th Street, Highland, 963-4444. Andrea Harbin, 6504 U.S. Highway 6 Portage, 762-5514. And Rob Rodakis, 835 Lincoln Way Avenue, Valparaiso, 476-7444.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com. And we'll ask our cameraman Nick Shallon to get a shot of Mr. Fuqua coming off the field, and he is definitely having trouble. And Kankakee Valley not very deep at either line position. Holding was the call, which wipes out that huge gain. Instead, it's going to be...
And 54 came on for the Cougars as well, Vince, if we can get a name on that.
Absolutely. I have a list of names. They let me read this thing. 54 for the Cougars. That's George Flores.
Okay.
I thought it was George. So they'll push him back, way back. It's going to be 2nd down and 20. Ball's now on the 41-yard line. They've got to go to the opposite 39 to get that gain. Again, Eilish with the snap. They'll have a handoff inside. This time the Cougars sniff it out. Maybe a gain of 1, call it 2.
Flores in there immediately.
Flores on the stop immediately, joined by Weaver. Called a gain of 1. So that penalty really was costly for the Niners.
It
Big
is
time.
costly. See if KV can get the ball back and maybe make hay here before the half.
3rd down and 18 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Clock's running at 3:43 to go in the quarter. And so far it's been mainly Andrean's offense who's been on the field for the majority of this half. Cougars can get a stop here. They can get the ball back. So Eilish trying to convert the long down and distance. He looks deep. He's got a man in the flat. He's open. Again, that's going to be a catch on the outside, and they convert. Oh, my goodness. All the way down to the 36-yard line. Finley with the reception from Eilish. So he gets down to the 36-yard line. Give him a gain of 24. So a 24-yard reception. They convert a 3rd and 18.
Huge play there as pressure was in Eilish's face. Able to unload it. Finley makes one guy miss, able to pick up the 1st down.
So that key play there, we'll see if we can capture that replay quickly enough. And you can take a look. There's a completion into the flat and a lot of room. And there was run after the catch, too, another 7 yards after the catch for Finley. Oh, and there's going to be a penalty. What's the penalty call?
Ooh, this could be big.
Maybe unsportsmanlike conduct?
On Andrean.
Unsportsmanlike is the call?
After the 1st down.
So they're going to walk it off. It'll be 15 yards.
Andrean a little confused. They were about to run up to the line. They're saying march him back.
That's the 2nd time that a huge play has been taken back for the Andrean 59ers. So now the Andrean 59ers have 1st down and 25 yards to go.
It's legitimately been 1 step forward, 3 steps back here for the Niners.
Oh, actually, they're going to make the yard markers come back. Hey, Chain Gang trying to help out at home. 1st and 10 is going to be the call. Ball on the 49-yard line. 3:21. Clock stopped. Don't forget to join us at halftime. We're going to have Mike Coffer join us. We did an interview with Mike in the pregame. Mike's the longtime voice of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Now it's going to be a tight formation. Here comes Vo on the end around. Vo's got room, and he's got blockers. Vo to the outside, still on his feet. He gets tackled by Castro out of bounds, but Vo with a huge gain.
Finley, actually, Jimmy Finley.
Jimmy Finley with the run, Finley, a playmaker. Take the ball all the way down to the 29-yard line. It's called a gain of 22. 22 yards on the pickup on the end around.
Again, that's just a guy you want to get the ball in his hands any way you can.
So Finley would not want to be confused with the freshman. Finley is a playmaker. 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Clock stop. Ball on the 32-yard line. Andrean on the move, getting ready to get near the Family Express red zone. Again, a handoff inside, and they get into the backfield. Now it's a tackle by Kuster downfield, but it's a gain of 12, call it 13.
Ellis Dumas in for his first action of the evening.
So Dumas gets the handoff. He hits the first handoff of the day, but Andrean just getting chunk plays.
Yep.
And they are now in the Family Express red zone. Ellis Dumas doing his work. So the Cougars are now on defense, and they're on their heels. Ball sits just at the edge of the Family Express red zone. We'll call it the red zone. It's on the 20. Again, they'll hand it to Dumas. Dumas is trying to get through. He gets stopped. Bodies everywhere. Looks like Weaver on the tackle, joined by Anderson again.
Brady Sampson there did a really nice job of setting the edge, forcing Dumas back inside where there were other Cougars waiting.
Brady Sampson, a player that I've seen just a few times in my life. Known him since he was 3.
Wow.
Worked with his dad as one of the coaches at KV. 2:13 to go in the quarter. 7-0 Andrean with the lead. They're trying to get the snap count. Niners are moving the pile. They're just outside the Family Express red zone. Now Elish has got a man. He looks deep. He's got a man on the wheel route. He's there if he wants it. It's caught. Touchdown! Andrean on the wheel route. Vo gets the catch, 21 yards on the reception. That's a Countryside Realty house call. Touchdown for Vo on the wheel route. A stop-and-go move. 13-0. Andrean with the lead.
Beautifully placed ball there from Brady Elish. Put it right in the bread basket for Tyler Vo. And it's 6 points.
And after the touchdown, we will show you the replay. Beautiful move on the outside. So here comes the extra point from Cusack. Snap on the way. Eilish with a good hold. Ball through the uprights. And it's good. So the point after is good. Touchdown of 21 yards to Vo from Eilish.
Minute 54 here for the Cougars to see if they can put something onto the board, manufacture some offense. Because remember, Vince, 59ers get the ball coming out of the half.
3 minutes and 49 seconds time on the drive. Touchdown from Eilish to Vo.
It's a big possession here for the Cougars.
64 yards on the drive on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plays. And of those 9 plays, 3, 4, 5 of them double-digit gains. 6. So Eilish gets the extra point. And we'll take a look at that replay quickly. And if you take a look at the wheel, Eilish waits, and it's a perfectly thrown ball. No chance for the defensive back to make the stop. That replay brought to us by our friends at Cruiswick Plumbing. Cruiswick Plumbing tells you who's hot. So back to receive for the Cougars will be Eichmann and Kustra. Minute and 54 seconds. Cougars are now trailing by 14. This is the same boat they were in last year. You can see a little bit of energy needed on the Cougars sideline. It's a little quiet over there.
No question about it. And on the other sideline, Andrean looking to have some life.
Andrean looking for their first win, trying to end the Cougars' 2-game winning streak. Again, Andrean will have the ball to start the second half. We'll get you halftime scoring statistics as well. Here comes Cusack with the kickoff, and that's a beautiful kick into the wind.
Maybe out of bounds, though.
It is, so it's going to be a penalty. The Cougars will take over on the 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
That's helpful. Went out of bounds at about the 2-yard line as well, Vince. Almost reached the end zone for a touchback.
With that weather, you would think about, with the conditions the way they are, you would think that Cusack would have trouble, but he had no trouble. He had it back towards the end zone. But again, it'll be our next Kankakee Valley drive. I think what they should do is sweep the ball outside to Castro.
Yep.
Give him some opportunities to get his wheels underneath him.
Yep.
Because if they're going to win, he's got to have the ball in his hands.
There's no question about that.
So Kankakee Valley starts on the 35-yard line.
Look to get a receiver like Eichmann the ball here in the flat and let him do some work.
Eichmann's been quiet this week. Defensively, he's doing just fine. So again, Kustra on the near side, Eichmann in the slot with Weaver on the power side. Let's see if the Cougars run to this formation. They won't. They'll fake the handoff. Backside, they look inside for Arroyo. Arroyo gets rid of it just as he's hit. Incomplete. Arroyo taken out of bounds. They're going to say incomplete. Fans not happy with that call.
Really should have been intercepted by number 19, M.J. Jeffries there. Had it go right through his hands.
So M.J. Jeffries with the interception in his hands, and boy, that would be a problem for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, that's for sure.
That's one there. If you're Arroyo, you just got to eat that, go out of bounds, throw it away. Can't force that one downfield, especially when you're already getting hit.
We'll take a look at that replay later on. So another power formation with Kustra near the slot. Let's see, they'll hand it to Castro. Let Castro get to the outside. He does. Castro gets the edge. They try to pursue, but Castro trying to put formation out there. He does. A little bit of punishment at the end. And a little bit of a dust up on the sideline. See what Castro does.
Yeah, there is. He's inflicting some punishment there.
He is. We'll give him a gain of 5 for Castro.
But again, a hard 5 yards, Vince. He's got to make the defensive end miss before he can even get to the linebackers, and then has to put his head down to get 5 yards.
Clock stopped, 1:38 to go. 3rd and 6 for the Cougars. They need to convert this, or they may give the ball back to Andrean. Andrean got that touchdown in the wind, but wind really negligible.
Yeah.
You look at the flags on the goalpost, hardly moving at all. Weaver to the near side with Kustra. Arroyo back to with the snap. As I learn how to speak, he's going deep. Throws it up for grabs. It's incomplete. He was looking for Eichmann.
He had Eichmann originally after about 5 yards, Vince. Eichmann had a step, and then he kind of stopped on that deep ball. A little bit of a miscommunication there.
So the 3 and out for the Cougars means that Andrean will get the ball back. So Andrean trying to put points on the board and extend their lead. And if they get a field goal, we'll be exactly where we were last year, which will be a 17-0 halftime deficit for KV. Arroyo with a good punt so far. This is the direction the punters want to be in. The wind has died down. Back to Arroyo. He gets it up, and that's a beauty. Oh, my goodness. He puts Vo back, ball on the turf. Vo falls on it. That was a great punt from Castro, or Arroyo.
It was.
He pinned him inside the 20. So Arroyo with a great punt.
See if KV can keep Andrean from putting more points on the board here before the half.
So Andrean will have the ball 1st and 10. We'll show you that halftime highlight of that Arroyo punt as well, because it was really a beauty.
He's had a couple of them now.
So here comes Andrean on offense. $1:23 to go in the quarter. Andrean on their own 18-yard line. Eilish will again take the snap. He's looking for more. And here comes Grayley Weaver! Nice job by Weaver. Cougars should take a timeout.
They should. Weaver hog-tied him back there.
Man, Weaver got him all the way back to the 6-yard line. Woo! Called a loss of 13. Give me the number, Monty. What do you got? Ooh, they're marking it at the
7.
7?
Yeah.
Lost of 12.
Yeah. Grayley Weaver was in there in a hurry, and the way he tackled him, he just threw him down for even more yards.
He was angry.
He was.
He's an angry man. Clock still winding at 48-47. Cougars going to try to get another stop. Can they get into the backfield again?
That was the best play of the first half for the Cougars.
Eilish looking for a snap here. Eilish again back to pass. He gets it out in the flat. They get it to Vo. Vo goes out of bounds and stops the clock.
Good tackle by Jaden Anderson over there on the far side.
Give Vo the reception. Ball up to the 12-yard line, so call it a gain of 5.
Yep.
Vo gets a gain of 5. Vo's had a good first half.
Yeah, he has, Vince. He's sitting at 40 yards on 4 catches here in the first half.
And a Countryside Relay to house call.
Most certainly is.
We'll try to show you that touchdown from Vo as one of our first half highlights. As they have trips receivers to the near side. 31 seconds with the clock stopped. Andrean in trouble. They're going to hand it off inside. Cougars get a stop. They should probably call a timeout. Timeout is called by Kankakee Valley. We'll call it no gain. 26 seconds on the clock. So KV is going to get one more opportunity.
See if you can at least get a field goal attempt off here, Vince.
Well, they're going to have 26 seconds to go.
They got 2 timeouts remaining as well.
Are you in the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana? Look no further than Scott Miller Realtor. Scott Miller is a 5-star rated broker with numerous awards and accolades, such as top 1% of all teams within Berkshire Hathaway nationally. In addition, Scott is in the top 15% HomeSnap agents nationwide, and he's the recipient of the HomeSnap Excellence in Client Service Award based on his numerous client reviews and is a top producing agent throughout the region. Scott Miller, who was born and raised in Northwest Indiana, is an honest, hardworking agent who believes that communication with his clients is key. Scott enjoys spending time with his family and looks forward to helping your family as well. If you want results, call Scott Miller, Realtor of Berkshire Hathaway HS Executive Realty at 219-263-3039. And don't forget to visit my guy Scott Miller at his website. It's scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com for results that move you. In the market to buy or sell or both? You know what time it is. It's Scott Miller time. Love me some Scott Miller.
I love it.
He's a good dude. We saw him at our preview show as there's the punt. It's a little sidewinder towards Eichmann. It's going to roll towards the midfield stripe. It's going to be down, and the Niners will let it keep running. And now the clock will be stopped with 13 seconds to go. So 2 touchdowns to speak of.
Vince, we saw Ruvalcaba kick a 45-yarder here in the warm-up going into the wind as well. It had the distance. It was just about 3-4 feet to the left maybe. With the wind on his side here, you'd think he'd be comfortable kicking from 45 again. So
the problem is you worry that you might have a blocked kick.
Yeah,
you really don't want to give Andrean that momentum.
You need to try to put some points on the board if you can here. I mean, he showed he's capable.
Just minute 20 and 10 seconds is what Andrean wasted.
20 yards here, and it can be done.
A penalty can get them in field goal range as here comes trips receivers to the near side. Arroyo getting ready for the snap. Last play of the half for the Cougars possibly. Arroyo trying to avoid the rush. Arroyo to the outside. He's taken down.
Did he get out of bounds?
He did not. The clock is stopped again. Call it a loss of
a yard?
2. We'll call it a loss of 2. As Arroyo couldn't break contain out there, KV will take another quick timeout. And for more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities of Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas, whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, or a number of other property types. Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield, for quality you can build on. Call them at 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. And they're finally playing my song.
Yeah, they are. You love the trumpets.
I do. I asked the stadium guys to play it in pregame, and they wouldn't do it. I just don't know why.
Yeah, Hayden Myers giving us a little look here, saying, I called your number here, Vince.
Hayden, give me the thumbs up. Hayden Myers, the voice of KV Soccer. Did you know he's a sectional golf champion, too?
I did. I've heard about that.
Yep.
Impressive young man.
Impressive young man in a lot of respects, and none of it has to do with athletics. So the Cougars are going to take a look here offensively. Weaver asking questions of the offensive coordinator. 5 seconds to go in the half.
Why not air it out?
Let's see what the Cougars have up their sleeve. Arroyo back to pass. Here comes the all-out blitz. Arroyo gets to the outside. He's going to be taken down, and that's going to be the end of our first half of play. And at the end of one half of play, our score is Andrean 14, Kankakee Valley nothing. Take a 2-minute video timeout. When we come back, we'll have our halftime extravaganza. At the half, the score is 14-0. Andrean with the lead here on Regional Radio Sports.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear. Enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise of battles won.
For a quarter century, Forest Ridge Family Dentistry in Schererville has been serving the dental, cosmetic, and restorative needs of Northwest Indiana and the Chicagoland suburbs. Most dental insurances are accepted and financing options are available. I have put my trust in their skilled hands since 1986. So why don't you schedule that appointment today at 219-756-2345 or look them up on the web at forestridgefamilydentistry.com. Mention that you heard this ad and receive a special discount at Forest Ridge Family Dentistry, 7303 Forest Ridge Drive in Schererville for all your dental needs.
Personal injury attorney Dave Cox proudly supports Region football and wishes the Niners best of luck this season. We hope you never need his services, but if you were hurt in a wreck, call Cox. Attorney Cox is a life member of the $1 Million Advocates Forum and is dedicated to representing seriously injured victims of negligence and getting fair and just results. For a free consultation and to discuss his best game plan in your case, call or text 219-CALL-COX. That's 219-225-5269. Or check them out online at davecoxlaw.com. Cox Law Office, located at 8792 East Ridge Road in Hobart. Looking to lead with purpose? Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is the game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together they discover the true essence of leadership, Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon or go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more. This broadcast is copyrighted by the Regional Radio Sports Network, LLC, for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures or descriptions or accounts of the game without the Regional Radio Sports Network, LLC's consent is strictly prohibited. Back here at Fred Jones Field, and we're at the half. 14-0 Andrean with the lead, and Monty, it's a better result than we had last season when KV trailed 17-0, but really they can't get Marco Castro going right now. Give me his yardage total.
Yeah, his yardage total in the first half is, Vince, 51 yards in the first half.
So 51 yards would be a yeoman's work for anybody else.
Yeah.
But 51 yards, a little disappointing for Castro. We knew that Andrean was going to load the box, and they have. Mm-hmm. But Andrean's also being impressive with their passing game. How many yards passing does Eilish have?
62 yards in the first half.
Touchdown as well?
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and give you our drive summaries. Drive summaries brought to us by our friends at the Indiana Football Digest. Monty, before we get going, do you have any Scoreboard Central updates?
I do. Let's take a look at our updates from our friends over at Scoreboard Central. Crown Point up 19-7 over Maryville in the second quarter. Hanover up 28-0 over Highland in quarter number 2 as well. Westfield up 20-10 over Zionsville. North Judson up 55-0 over South Central. Valpo up 28-0 over LaPorte. And then Hobart up 17-0 over Munster at the half as well.
So again, our Scoreboard Central updates brought to us by the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. You can find them on the web at indianafootballdigest.com. Order your copy today. 33 years of the Indiana Football Digest, Monty. That's
incredible.
Some serious work. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest puts a bow on the 2023 campaign with recaps of all 6 state championship games. Among the 400 pages are previews and photos of all of the Indiana high schools and colleges playing football this fall, along with breaking down the top teams and the players to watch in 2024. It's called the Primetime 25. It also has special features and human interest stories. It's available online at indianafootballdigest.com. So Kankakee Valley started the game on their own 26-yard line. They went 3 and out and gave the ball back to the Andrean 59ers. The Niners went 10 plays, 67 yards. It took them 5 minutes and 14 seconds for Javier McCoy, the freshman, to find the end zone. Cusack's extra point made it 7-0. Kankakee Valley then went on 5 plays, 3 minutes, but they had to punt again to Andrean. But then KV got their best defensive stop of the first half. They drove the Niners 3 and out, but the punt from Cusack was 75 yards and pinned the Cougars back all the way to their 4-yard line. Cougars went 3 and out and punted as well and gave the ball back to the Andrean 59ers, who punted the ball back to Kankakee Valley. Kankakee Valley then drove the ball down in deep in Andrean territory all the way down to the 36-yard line, but they needed to get to the 35. Marco Castro was stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It was a loss on downs, and Kankakee Valley gave the ball back to Andrean. Andrean started their second scoring drive, going 9 plays and 64 yards in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. It was a 21-yard reception from Eilish, and the conversion from Cusack made it 7-0. Key play on that drive, Monty, was a conversion of a 3rd down and 18, where they gained 23 yards to get the ball into KV territory. Kankakee Valley then went 3 and out. Marco Castro pinned Andrean back inside their 20. They were down to the 18. Andrean was stopped, and Kankakee Valley tried to make one more run, but Marco Castro couldn't make the block at the end, and Diego Arroyo was sacked. And at the end of one half of play, our score 14-0. Andrean, and you do have our other statistics.
I do. I've got some more statistics here for this ball game, Vince. For the Andrean 59ers, starting quarterback Brady Elish, 5 of 10 in the first half for 62 yards and 1 Countryside Realty house call. That Countryside Realty house call went to number 11. He's a freshman, Tyler Vo, who had 4 catches for 40 yards, including that house call. Jimmy Finley, the senior receiver, who's been impressive in the first half, had 2 catches for 27 yards as well for the 59ers. Looking at the passing attack now for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, a little bit quiet, a little bit stagnant in the first half. Diego Arroyo completed 4 of 5 passes, but for only 19 yards in the first half, Vince. Grayley Weaver had 1 grab for 4 yards. Then Nolan Kustra, 3 grabs, 15 yards in that respect. Looking at the rushing numbers now, starting off with the Cougars. Marco Castro, Vince, 13 carries, 36 yards. I said 51 originally, 36 yards on 13 carries for Marco Castro. Not enough, and a few negative plays. Not necessarily his fault. He's being met in the backfield very, very quickly. Diego Arroyo, 2 yards, couple carries in the first half. Adrian Eichmann, 1 carry, 6 yards as well on a jet sweep. Running numbers for the 59ers in the first half. Ellis Dumas, 3 carries, 14 yards. Javier McCoy, 3 carries, 32 yards, including a Countryside Realty house call. Brady Stovall started off this game for the 59ers, 6 carries, 29 yards in this game. They've used a trio of backs, Vince. All 3 have been pretty impressive so far in this ball game. Brady Ellis, the quarterback, scrambled for a couple of yards, and Jimmy Finley had a nice end around for 22 yards in his own right.
So that's our halftime statistics brought to us by Cruiswick Plumbing and Heating. Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning on 7th Street Southwest in DeMont has been serving Jasper County since 1988. Since 2016, they've been voted 6-time best plumber in Jasper County, and 7 times they've been voted best heating and air cooling contractor in Jasper County as well. Their technicians are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help with any commercial or residential needs. I know for sure because they help me. Check them out on CruiswickPlumbingHeating.com. or call their office at 219-207-3862. Cruiswick Plumbing, a trusted hometown comfort specialist. Take a 2-minute video timeout when we come back. I had a chance to talk to Mike Coffer. He's the voice of the Cougars, and I'll get you that interview next here on Regional Radio Sports.
We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at Marines.com.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at RRSN.com.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
back here at Kankakee Valley at the half. It's 14-0. And normally our interviews are our coaches' interviews. They're sponsored by Ivy Tech. But we had the good fortune to get a chance to talk to a man who does a lot of great work here at Kankakee Valley. That's Mike Coffer. Mike Coffer is the voice of the Cougars, and he spent just a few minutes with me in our pregame. We're here at the half, and we're talking to Mike Coffer. He's the PA announcer for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, and he's a recent inductee into the Kankakee Valley Hall of Fame. Mike, I've known you a long time. Talk to me about what it's like to do the PA for the Cougars. You do Cougar football and Cougar basketball.
That is correct. I do both. And my daughter kind of volunteered me for this job when she was a cheerleader here many, many moons ago, and I've just been stuck with the job ever since.
Talk about your passion for Kankakee Valley athletics. A lot of times when people come in and they hear you call First Down Cougars, it's kind of one of the signature calls in Northwest Indiana. Do you ever get bumped when you're out in public about that?
Yes, although not too much. The neat part of it is the kids that I announce their names and so forth, and I've got to know a little bit over the years. I get invited to their weddings. I get invited to all kinds of things that is part of their lives. That's kind of cool.
Now, this is obviously a side job for you. You have other careers just like I do, but talk about what your day looks like. How do you get prepared for doing the public address? Because you got to know how to pronounce the kids' names. You got to know down and distance. Talk about the support that you get from the press box.
The football isn't so bad as far as the pronunciation of names, although because of the distance, as I get older, they got 22 people out there and they're 100 yards away. Basketballs are much more confined, closer, less numbers, so that's a little bit easier on my mind. But I say I just go through the rosters, make sure that I know, ask any questions, or sometimes I just kind of slur things together to make it sound like I know what I'm doing.
Talk about how you deal with the opposing teams and the opposing coaches, especially in basketball. It's kind of become an event at KV where now they turn off the lights, they've got the spotlights, you have to sync up with the band, which, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, we really don't rehearse that, but over the years, we've just kind of become accustomed to how it's going to work and, where I need to begin introductions and stuff like that. Sometimes if they change the song up, the KV coach will give me a thumbs up or some kind of a sign to tell me it's time to start. And so that goes.
How much longer are you going to do this?
I don't know. I still enjoy doing it. I told him when I didn't like doing it anymore, I was going to be done. I told Doug Greenlee when he retired I was going to retire. Well, that was a long time ago. So I don't know. I don't have an end date in mind.
Mike, I know I speak for all Cougar fans that it wouldn't be the same if you weren't calling out First Down Cougars and the things you do. I want to say how much we appreciate you, and we look forward to many more years of hearing you here at Fred Jones Field.
Well, I appreciate the events. I really do. I say I still enjoy it, and until they fire me or I die, one or the other, I'll probably keep showing up. So.
That's Mike Coffer. He's the public address announcer here at KV. We're back after this 2-minute timeout. This is the Northwest Indiana Football Game of the Week on Regional Radio Sports.
NITCO is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let NITCO bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new NITCO Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order NITCO Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at NITCO.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
CI Insurance is a proud corporate sponsor of all KV athletics. Please visit their offices in DeMont, Rensselaer, or Lowell. They have been family-owned and operated in part of our community since 1953. Check them out online at ciinsurance.com.
Opportunities are everywhere, even right around the corner. That's where you'll find Horizon Bank, going beyond to make a difference in our community. Whether you're starting a business or a family, expanding your kitchen or your customer base, drop by and see us for friendly service, local expertise, and solid financial advice. Horizon Bank, beyond ordinary banking. Learn more at horizonbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here at Kankakee Valley in our Keys, the second half brought to us by Toppin Inc., family-owned remodeling and construction business specializing in remodeling projects, new construction, room additions, as well as siding, roofing, and replacement windows. Based in DeMont, they service Jasper and Newton counties. They also service the communities of Bass Lake, Lake Maxinkuckee, Knox, and Culver, and they're an A-plus member of the Better Business Bureau. If you're seeking employment opportunities, their phone number is 219-928-3106. You can find them on the web at toppininc.com. Womani, keys to the second half. Let's see if I can figure this out. The Cougars got to get Marco Castro going. That would be key number one.
They do, but there's more to it than that even, Vince. They've got
what
to,
are those keys?
They've got to establish the line of scrimmage, quite frankly. I mean, it's one thing to get Castro going, but without the line of scrimmage, they're not going to be able to get anything going. They had little to none of a passing game in the first half, only 19 yards, so they need both facets to come into play on offense, and it all starts at the line of scrimmage. They did a decent job on the defensive side of the ball, though. I thought Vince created some nice stops, held Andrean to only 14 points. A little later in the first half, the Andrean running game started to get going a little bit, but overall, nice job defensively for the Cougars at the line of scrimmage, but offensively, they got to win the war up front.
And I'm going to try to find our Tyler Vo touchdown. That was our key play of the first half, was the wheel route to Tyler Vo. See if I can dig that up here. I may not be able to find it, maybe. There, I'm trying to do the work and can't get it done, but let's go ahead and take a look at one of our key plays of the first half. And this would be the Marco Castro punt. Now take a look at this punt. This Arroyo. What a howitzer. There was Vo. This is really the offense that the Cougars generated in the first half, was the punt from Castro. Did a great job on offense as best he could.
Yep.
And Arroyo did a great job as well. Arroyo trying to get things going as well.
The punts and then the Grayley Weaver sack were really the best plays so far for the Cougars.
Absolutely. I think we might have the Eilish touchdown right here. Take a look at the wheel turn. There's the wheel route. Look at Eilish with the lead over to Vo. And that first half highlight being brought to us by Toppin Inc.
Also, Vince, you hate to see this, but Aiden Fuqua came out of the game earlier. He's now down here on crutches, got the left foot in a boot.
Oh, my goodness.
So hate to lose the big fella up front. He's such an integral part of that defensive line and the spirit of this team.
Well, you'll take a look and see what's going on. It's going to be Andrean's ball to start the second half. Fuqua's on crutches. Good job by our friend Nick Shallon to get a look at that. We may try to work with the lights on and see what that works like. See if we can still see out there. It's a little dark in here when you get to be my age, you know. We talked in the pregame. We also talked to Hayden Myers. Hayden was telling us a little trick with these prescription sunglasses.
Yeah, he was.
I'm telling you what.
He was excited about those.
The good-looking dude. So Old Glory still blowing a little bit on the north side, but the winds have died down to gusts of only 5 miles an hour. It was a gusty day today. We hope you enjoyed it as well. Coming up on the anniversary of 9/11 next week. We're going to keep our thoughts and prayers with those around the world protecting our freedoms.
Absolutely.
As here comes the kickoff, and it'll be taken down deep. It'll be by Finley. Finley gets to the 20, 25, 30, jump cuts inside. Finley still on his feet. Finley will get all the way to the 29-yard line, and that's where Andrean will start first and 10. Good kickoff by Rubalcaba. Better return by Finley.
Yeah, it was. Nice tackle by Nolan Kustra there.
So Kustra makes the stop. Cougars will be back on defense. Andrean comes out again with Eilish. He had a good first half. So Brady Eilish came into this game 33 for 56, 287 yards. He's added on to those numbers. Vo on the near side. He's joined out there by Mark Grubbs Jr. And Eilish taking a look around. Andrean in no hurry. Play clock gets reset to 25. Here comes the Andrean 59ers offense. So Eilish looking for the snap. Here it comes, and Cougars jump, and that's going to be encroachment on KV. Looks like it was Grayley Weaver who jumped. You know, Weaver's new to that defensive line position.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker and a defensive back, and they wanted him up front for his speed, and he's got, what we said earlier, country strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, the Cougars will start off on defense now. It'll be 1st and 5 for the Niners with 11:52 to go in this first quarter of play. Now it's an end around again. No, it's not. It's a play fake, and it's outside. Good gain from the 59ers in the hands of number 5. That's Javier McCoy. McCoy all the way up to midfield. Let's see where they mark it, at the 48. So give him a gain of 19. 19 on the reception. Great deception from the Niners.
That was. Big time pickup, and Nolan Kustra had to make the tackle. There was nobody behind him.
So again, we talked about it in our pregame. We said the secondary having to make stops would not be a good thing for KV. And so far that's played out true. Ball on the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Now it's another handoff inside. This time the Cougars sniff it out. Looks like it was stopped by Weaver. It was.
It was. Grizzly Weaver was all over that.
He's all over the field. It's no gain. So Weaver gets a stop. We'll see if we can garner that.
He's really played a good ball game tonight.
He really has. We do have the end of that previous play, which we'll take a look at later on in the down and distance. And coming to the near side is going to be Mark Grubbs. He's joined out there by Vo. Vo, the freshman, doesn't look like it. In motion is going to be Reyna. Here comes the snap. Now it's a handoff. Stovall's got it. Stovall with 2 hands on the ball. Finally, Sampson gets the tackle, but he gets the tackle 14 yards down the field. Brady Sampson on the stop.
Too much running room there for Brady Stovall.
And Stovall's holding the ball with 2 hands like he should.
Runs like a fullback out there.
He does. Brady Stovall is listed as 5'10", 205. He was 205 if he missed breakfast this morning. I think he's more like 215. He's stocky out there. He's got the neck roll on, too.
Yeah.
It's not the only roll he probably deals with. Oh, come on. It just can't get any easier than this. Off to the far side is Finley. Eilish again takes the snap. They hand it to Stovall. Stovall tripped up in the backfield. Guess who? Grayley Weaver with the stop. Call it no gain. So the 2 plays this series with no gain have both been authored by Grayley Weaver. Weaver with a stop on both of those runs. Now the Andrean 59ers have 2nd and 10. Ball on the 37-yard line. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Kankakee Valley trailing 14-0.
Yeah, Grayley Weaver getting really good penetration in that A-gap right now, Vince.
Eilish again takes a look, and he's got a bunch formation on the other side. Now they're looking for a little handoff inside. Instead, Eilish is out there. Good catch in the flat, and it's incomplete. Gavin Joy had him in his sights. They tried to take it to Vo to the outside. Vo couldn't make the catch.
Just a little too wide there from Eilish. Vo probably still thinks he maybe could have hauled it in.
Cougars need to get a stop here on that incompletion.
This would be huge.
As you take a look at the play-action motion, you can see Vo to the outside. Nice breaking off of the route. Just not quite there. It would have been a gain of 7, possibly 8. Instead, the incomplete pass stops the clock and makes it 3rd down and 10. KV's got to get a stop here. Good job by Finley to ask the official if he was legal. He is. Stovall will get the handoff again. Stovall in the second. Ball is out. It's loose. And the Cougars fall on it. It's a turnover. Stovall couldn't hold on.
Wow. So much for having 2 hands on the ball,
right.
man.
So Cougars get the fumble recovery. And it looks like it was Kustra on the recovery. It was.
Yeah, he just had to fall on it.
So now Kustra gets the fumble recovery.
That's a big momentum switch. That's the most momentum Cougars have picked up all night.
Let's see if we can see that replay quickly. And you can see when he comes through, they were smacking at the ball. When he turned and spun,
Castro knocked it loose.
Knocked it loose.
Ooh, what a big play.
Nice job by Castro on the fumble recovery. So KV recovers the fumble. They're sitting on the 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Let's see if the Cougars can get something going. They hand it off inside, and Pyle falls forward for maybe 2. Cougars get a gain of 2 on that rush. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Ball moves up to the 26-yard line. Good job by Kustra to recover that fumble. I'll get a chance to update my stat sheet, and it'll say F-U-M-R-E-C, fumble recovery.
Yep.
Parks is on the wrong side of the formation. They bring him back to the far side. Didn't mean to step on you there, partner.
No, you're good.
Here comes the blitz. They hand it to Castro. Castro gets to the outside, but he can't extend the play. Castro's trying to still get out there. Fights his way forward. Castro gets to the marker. They'll give him a gain of 2. That's the hardest 2 yards he'll ever have to gain.
Yeah, it really is, and it's been tough sledding all night, Vince. I mean, Castro's looking for any gap he can find in those linebackers to extend to the second level, and it's just really tough out there.
Castro now, remember, he's down a lineman too, as Fuqua went down with an injury.
Yep.
So Fuqua is on crutches. You hope that isn't a long-term thing. You hope it's just this week. Next up for the Cougars is going to be at Hobart. We'll be there as well at the Brickyard next week. On Friday the 13th, let's hope it's good luck for the Cougars. So now it'll be Arroyo again with the snap. He fakes the handoff, comes to the outside, and there comes the blitz, and he goes down. Arroyo with a huge loss, and firing in was Charlie Sollers. Sollers from the outside, and it's a massive loss. Called a loss of 10. Where did he come from?
Came shot out of a cannon.
He did. So Sollers pushes the Cougars back inside the opposite Family Express red zone. Ball on the 18-yard line. So the Cougars are going to have to punt, and that's Arroyo back there to punt. He's had a good day from the backside. Let's see what Arroyo can do to flip the field. Here comes the snap. Punt on the way, and it's a good one. It's an end-over-end kick. It pushes. It's loose again. Ball is loose. Weaver tried to get on it. That's the second time Bo's had issues.
Wow.
Andrean starts on their own 45-yard line, and Weaver wishes he could get that one back.
Ooh.
7:57 to go in the quarter.
They'll just beat him back to the ball.
KV in no hurry to get going, and Arroyo looks frustrated on the sidelines.
I mean, I don't blame him. He had a pass drawn up there on third down and just unable to really get through his progressions before there's men right around him.
This Andrean team looks like a team that's played Maryville and Valparaiso.
Yep.
And they were beating Valpo, which is a very good football team. They lost to Andrean, who, by the way, is getting beat by Crown Point. Kind of tells you where the power in the region is.
Yep.
And here comes Eilish back into the ball game.
Cougars got to continue to hang their hat on the defensive end, try to create stops, see if that can create some offense.
So one turnover in the ball game. It was recovered by Kankakee Valley. Kustro is way back in the free safety area. Now it's going to be a walk-off.
Vince, this has been really hurtful for Andrean tonight. Almost every punt, it seems like they've had a 10-yard penalty.
So it was an illegal block in the back, which pushed Andrean back. They'll start on the 35, so it was a 10-yard penalty. Andrean back to the 35-yard line. 7:57 to go in our third quarter of play. Cougars trailing 14-0. Looks like I'm not going to be able to switch out the refrigerator magnets if we don't get going a little bit.
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's Andrean football, there's Andrean basketball, there's Andrean high school.
It's almost like your wife went to school there.
It's almost like my family members went there. Exactly. We do have a good KV sticker on there for my daughter. Well, that helps too. Here comes Vo in motion. Now he's going to go back behind the formation. Now they're going to look for Vo. Now it's going to be that screen again in front. Oh, and a good job by Anderson to snuff it out.
Great read.
Anderson probably could have intercepted that ball. Loss of 3 on the reception. Anderson saw it coming all day long.
He has.
Called a loss of 2. So Anderson with a good stick in the backfield. 7:35 clock running. Andrean pushed back to their 34-yard line. Anderson could have had that interception. It was close.
It was close. He timed it up well to make the tackle at least, though.
He intercepts it. He's going the other way. So Castro in the defensive backfield along with Ed Ritchie and Anderson. They played very well defensively, but 14-0 is a score. Here comes the snap to Eilish, almost over his head now. He's looking for the wheel route. He's got a man. That's got to be pass interference.
There was a tug there from Eichmann.
It was. Absolutely a pass interference call from Eichmann. So pass interference on Eichmann, that's really all he could do.
Yeah.
He grabbed the uniform. Otherwise, Finley might have been gone.
Mm-hmm. It was the right call.
That's what you do. Today's game is being sponsored by Family Express. Your friends at Family Express remind you to download their all-new mobile app. Once inside, you can check your perks balance, find fuel prices for your favorite location, order fabulous food from Craven Store, or even get a car wash subscription. to keep that street grime at bay. Join the digital revolution and go to FamilyExpress.com today. Thank our friends at Family Express again for feeding us at halftime.
Absolutely. Great food, great spread as always.
I'm telling you, man. Good stuff. 7:07 with the clock stopped. Second down and a short yard to go for the 59ers. They already lead 14-0. Eilish came in 33 for 56 for 287 yards. He's added to that total today. Snap back to Eilish. He'll hand it off. Instead, he'll keep it. Eilish keeps it to the outside. Eilish down to the 44-yard line. It's a first down. Eilish gets to the 44. So give him a gain of 11. Then let me get there. 11. I was trying to take my shoes off.
Nice pick up there by Brady. Eilish able to get outside, pick up the first down, a little extra yards.
So they're into Kankakee Valley territory, ball on the 45-yard line with the clock running now at 7 minutes. Clock stopped. Play clock down to 16. Andrean's got to get going here. Niners are in no hurry. Andrean, one of the powerhouse teams in Class 2A. Comes another snap to Eilish. Here comes the blitz from Weaver. Weaver again to the outside. Eilish throws it, and it's going to be out of bounds. It was in direction of Vo.
Greatly, Weaver just wreaking havoc in the backfield.
He did. Barely got it back to the original line of scrimmage. That would have been intentional grounding, but Vo was in the area.
I was hoping with how long that ball hung in the air that there'd be a Cougar waiting to maybe take it the other way.
You keep saying barking out the signals. What is a cow? We're going to say meows out the signals? Cougar?
Maybe.
Let's take a look.
It's not as ferocious.
Let's take a look at Weaver as he gets in the backfield. Weaver on the run. He just can't get there. But good job by Weaver. He's played very well tonight.
He has.
Another ball back to Eilish. And it's in the secondary. Here comes a tackle downfield. It's Eichmann, but he gets a big tackle on Javier McCoy. McCoy with a huge gain all the way down to the 27-yard line.
McCoy, to me, has been the most impressive of these trio of backs. He's already in for a Countryside Realty house call. He's got a couple 20-plus yard runs now.
21 yards on that carry for McCoy.
Very impressive tonight.
He's a freshman. Think about that. He's a freshman.
53 yards on 4 carries tonight.
He's a freshman. Did I mention he's a freshman?
You did, and he's built like a
junior
in college.
Ball on the 27-yard line, 6:22. Andrean on the move. Almost the ball's loose again. Eilish gets loose, but he's brought down.
Flores.
Looks like it was George Flores on the tackle. Eilish with a saving play, but we'll call it no gain. And you can see some of the foibles on offense for the Niners. They'll be okay as the season goes along, but Andrean's upcoming schedule, they've got Munster next week at home. Then they go to Hobart. Highland and Bishop Chatard will be at home from Indianapolis. They go to Hanover Central, and they end the season on the 18th. Todd Kibbe and the boys will be calling it from Lowell.
Yeah, a little bit of hot potato there in the backfield between Eilish
talking about potatoes.
McCoy.
We'll ask our cameraman to widen out just a little bit as Eilish gets that snap. Thank you very much. Eilish back to pass. He's got a man downfield, and that's going to be pass interference. 2 flags on the play, and I don't know what the call is. Eichmann doesn't agree with it.
I think both officials saw the same thing.
We'll find out. Let's take a look at that replay as well and see what we see.
I don't know if I quite agree with that one as well.
We'll take a look and see. This is right now where we find out what kind of a cameraman Nick Shallon is. Take a look outside. There's the pass. Eichmann didn't let him get there. Yep, Eichmann didn't turn to look at the ball.
It's tough.
It is, but he didn't turn to look at the ball. So let's see what the walk-off's going to be. The officiating crews had some work to do tonight. They're walking off 15 yards.
Ugh.
So the ball's going to be moved into the Family Express red zone.
Big possession here. If 59ers put any points on the board, really find it tough for KV to come back in this one.
Second pass interference penalty of this drive for Kankakee Valley. Started out with 7:57 to go. Ball on the Andrean 35. Niners are now down to the 14-yard line. Eilish again hands it inside to Javier McCoy. McCoy falls forward for a gain of 1.
Ed
McCoy,
Ritchie, though, again in there.
Ed Ritchie with a stop. So Javier McCoy with another gain. They're saying no gain. I give him 1. He's a freshman. You got to help him out. 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Andrean has had a ton of possession time in this ball game. Kankakee Valley hasn't been able to get anything going offensively. Maybe they can get a defensive stop and get the ball back.
Yeah.
Eilish takes a look to the right. He's got Finley. They'll hand the ball inside again to Andrean. And there's a flag on the play.
Some movement, I think, pre-snap.
Movement before the snap. Dumas had the ball. Ellis Dumas had the ball in his hands, but let's see what the call is going to be. I think they have motion on Andrean. So Andrean parked in the Family Express red zone on the web at familyexpress.com.
The penalties have really been what's kept the Cougars in the ball game tonight so far, Vince. I mean,
absolutely.
A multitude of errors on the 59ers side.
A cornucopia of errors, exactly. And Andrean trying to get up to the line, but the officials are going to walk off the infraction. So now the ball placed back just inside the Family Express red zone. It's at the 19. 4:39 to go in the quarter. Now a snap back to Elish. He's got a man in the flat. Vo.
Ball came out.
And the ball came out. It is incomplete. Vo had his man beat.
Yeah, he most certainly did, Vince. Great ball delivered there, too, but just unable to bring it in.
Of course, I'm going to show you the replay. Now take a look at the outside. Vo had it. Had his man beat. It was back shoulder. That's a great pass.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be received.
It really was.
There's a timeout on the field.
There is.
For an injury, we'll take it as well. 4:27 to go in the quarter. KV trails by 14 on Regional Radio Sports.
NITCO is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let NITCO bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new NITCO Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order NITCO Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at NITCO.
Monty, Scoreboard Central updates by the Indiana Football Digest.
Yeah, Scoreboard Central here. Lake Central up 16-14 over Portage in the third quarter. Hobart still up 17-0 over Munster. West Lafayette in a game Todd Kibbe's involved in down there with the Lowell Red Devils. West Lafayette up 28-14 over Lowell in the fourth quarter. Snyder up 41-6 over Concordia.
Oh, Michigan City beating Chesterton 13-0, and Fort Wayne Carroll beating Fort Wayne Southside. What's the score of that one?
49-0 in that one.
Yeah, Carroll's pretty good.
West Lafayette just added on, now 34-14 over Lowell.
So Elish back in the shotgun formation where he's been all night. He's joined by Ellis Dumas. It's going to be first down at 15 for the Niners. Back to pass. Here comes Weaver again. Guess that Weaver gets out of his sights. Elish to the outside. Elish trying to get to the corner. Elish fights his way inside. He's getting all the way down to the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of 16.
Marco Castro had him dead to rights there.
16-yard gain. And
missed, and he's off to the races.
I think that might have been Weaver. We're going to take a look. I'm pretty sure it was Weaver.
22.
We'll take a look. Was it 22? Here it comes. 22, good call. I look like a 23 to me. 23 and me. So the Niners are in business. They're first and goal. It's on the 3-yard line, 2-yard line with the clock winding. 3:54 to go in the quarter. Here comes the power formation. They fight it forward. Dumas fights into the pile. towards the end zone. No signal yet. And he's going to be marked down at the half-yard line. Second time tonight that he's been right on the doorstep and can't find the end zone.
Just short. I mean, as close as you can get to punching it in without actually being a touchdown.
You know what I forgot? There's NFL football tonight, too.
Yeah, there is. Eagles, Packers from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
No Scoreboard Central updates of that?
We can get a Scoreboard Central update.
All right, here comes the power formation. Expect Eilish to hand it again to Dumas. Dumas into the end zone for a countryside realty house call. So a countryside realty house call for the Niners. 1-yard touchdown run for Eilish.
Extends the
Dumas,
lead.
excuse me. So Ellis Dumas gets a touchdown. Ellis Dumas finds the back of the end zone again for a touchdown from 1 yard out. 4 minutes and 47 seconds time of the drive. 8 plays, 65 yards. Snap on the way, good hold, kick on the way up. And it's good. So with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in our third quarter of play, 21-0, Andrean with the lead. We're taking 60 on Regional Radio Sports.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Toppin Inc. is a family-owned remodeling and construction business specializing in remodeling projects, new construction, room additions, as well as siding, roofing, and replacement windows. Based in DeMont, they service Jasper and Newton counties. They also service the communities of Bass Lake, Lake Maxinkuckee, Knox, and Culver, and are an A-plus member of the Better Business Bureau. If you're seeking employment opportunities, their phone number is 219-928-3106, and they're on the web at topininc.com. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in our third quarter play. Kankakee Valley trailing by 3 scores, 21-0. Again, 8 plays, 65 yards in 4 minutes and 47 seconds. Ellis Dumas found the back of the end zone. Rushing touchdowns, 2 of 3 tonight. One from Javier McCoy, the freshman. He got the first score of the night, made it 7-0. Eilish had a 21-yard pass to Vo. We'll have to check on that injury on Vo.
Yeah.
And then Ellis Dumas capped off this most recent drive. 21-0, Andrean with the lead. Now an end-over-end kick towards the end zone, and it's a touchback. Yeah, the wind's pretty much died down at this point.
Yep.
So Kankakee Valley will start on their own 20-yard line with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It's 1st and 10. The Cougars are playing right now for pride.
Yeah, they really are.
Let's see what they can do offensively as Marco Castro and Diego Arroyo come out with the offense.
Been a bit imbalanced, Vince. I think the defense has had a solid showing tonight, forced more than their fair share of turnovers on downs, but Cougars offense unable to hold up.
And Castro's played well defensively, and he's trying to do anything he can offensively as there's a handoff to Castro. Castro fights his way forward. Pyle keeps moving. He falls forward. Give him a gain of 6. So 6-yard gain for Castro. That puts him up to what for the day?
That puts him at 55 yards.
So 55 yards on the day for Castro with about a quarter and 3 minutes to play. Parks is at the near side. Weaver on the far side. Arroyo in the backfield. Castro on his right hip. Clock continues to wind at 2:36. Here comes the snap, hand it to Castro. Castro got to move that time. Takes on a defender. He takes him down low. Give Castro a gain of 6 again. So Castro gets another 6 on the carry.
Castro tends to wear on people as games go on, Vince. Maybe that can be something the Cougars can lean on here to start moving the chains.
And the thing with Castro is it doesn't matter how many times he takes punishment back there. He's not coming out.
No, he just continues to absorb.
Eichmann comes in with the play offensively. Play clock down to 16. Cougars parked on the 32-yard line. First down and 10, Cougars, as you heard Mike Coffer say. Hey, thanks to Mike Coffer for his joining us at halftime.
Absolutely.
4 seconds on the play clock, and the Kankakee Valley Cougars are going to have to take time out. So it'll be Kankakee Valley's first timeout of the half. Any more Scoreboard Central updates?
Yeah, we can give that one from the
I want the NFL.
The Eagles-Packers game, certainly. 31 seconds remaining in the first half of that game. Green Bay Packers up 19-14 over the Philadelphia Eagles in that game.
Now, I'm not saying anything about my fantasy football team, but
you got some guys involved there.
Jalen Hurts is my quarterback this year.
He's got a passing touchdown already today.
Hey, there we go. Last night I had Kansas City's defense, which didn't do me much good, although I really was glad that touchdown at the end was called off.
That helps.
Justin Tucker's my kicker.
He's one of the best in the game.
In my league, you get ridiculed if you pick a kicker earlier than like the 8th or 9th round.
Yeah.
Every year, 6th round, 5th round. I got to have me some Justin Tucker. So the Cougars took the timeout. Minute 57 as they play YMCA in the stands. See if the Cougars can get something going here offensively.
It's got to be now on offense for the Cougars.
Cougars need to get a score and a couple of stops to get back in this game. Trips receivers on the near side, Kustra, Weaver, and Eichmann. Arroyo barking out the signals to see if the Cougars run to this side of the formation. Instead, it's going to be Arroyo back to pass. He holds it a little too long, and now he goes down. He got back to the line of scrimmage, so we won't call it a sack. We'll call it no gain. He went to get rid of the ball, and then he had to pump because great coverage downfield by the 59ers.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go with that ball.
Two players have been marked men tonight. It's been Eichmann, and it's been Castro.
Yeah.
As Parks runs the play in, and Weaver, who's been on the field for most of this game, lumbers off to the sidelines. Weaver's a senior. I did have a question for his brother that I'll speak to you about in a minute. Arroyo hands it to Castro. Castro with a jump cut. Still gets to the outside. How did he even get back to the line of scrimmage? Call it no gain, and that was a bunch of work to get no gain.
Yeah, it really was. Linebackers crashing downhill. Vinny Supon, I mentioned the freshman, in there initially to halt the progress of Castro as his fellow 59ers get to him.
So I happened to run into
Grayley Wheeler's
his brother. And I said, because at the end of last week's game, Knezevich for Wheeler kind of took some umbrage and knocked Weaver over.
Yeah.
And I said to his brother, you don't have to tell me what was said. Was anything said? And he said, maybe. So Arroyo gets the snap back. He looks out to Castro.
Uh-oh.
Ball is blown up. It's incomplete. And Andrean blew up that play. They saw it coming all day long as they tried to run that little screen pass to the outside. But it's incomplete. It'll make it 4th and 9 with the clock stopped. 32 seconds to go.
Yeah, a great design there. I like the call to get Castro the ball quickly. But again, the blocks just couldn't get set right in the lap of Castro as the ball was trying to be delivered.
So the Cougars spent 2 minutes and 38 seconds. They moved the ball all the way up to the 32-yard line, so 12 yards on that drive.
Vo replaced by Jimmy Finley now in the punt return game.
Well, you go from good to great. So Finley's in the back. Bad snap, but a good job by Arroyo to get the snap. He goes to Finley, but Finley gets away. Ball kicks up. I wish my 9-iron would kick up like that. Instead, it's down at the 42-yard line. It looks like it was down by the number 51 for the Cougars. That's Miles Kitchen. So Miles Kitchen downs the punt.
Speaking of that, how'd you play at Sandy Pines the other day?
I ended up playing in Maryville at Turkey Creek.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I shot a 98.
All right.
But I will tell you that I hit a couple of shots.
70% of golfers can't break 100, so that's impressive.
It's coming from the guy who shoots 73, 74.
Yeah, not quite, but.
Yeah, you're close. Ball's at the 42-yard line for Andrean. Andrean trying to add to a 21-0 advantage. So Eilish goes back again on offense. He's back to pass. He's got time. He gets it out in the flat. Oh, and Finley has had trouble all night long. It's incomplete. Finley was there. He had Eichmann on his hip. If he would have caught it, he could have gone for positive yardage. Instead, he fumbled it out of his hand one more time.
He has, Vince. He's had troubles with drops tonight, and he's normally pretty sure-handed. I was impressed with him last year when we went up to Andrean, watched the 59ers, but tonight, a couple drops.
You see Diego Arroyo running over to the offensive coordinator to get some plays. Cougars trying to get back on offense, get a stop here before the end of the quarter. Only 19 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10, clock stopped on the 42-yard line. One more pass to the outside. And this time it's in the hands of Jaden Holmes.
Something late there called. Castro and Grayley Weaver in on the tackle.
So is there a flag on the play? There is. So it looks like a late hit. Let's see what the call is going to be. Flag coming from the outside official. Officials are taking their time. If you want to be an official, go to ihsaa.org and click the word officials. Don't be an amateur in the stands. Become a pro today. Let's see what the foul's on. Is it on Andrean? They're facing that direction. Personal foul. And it's on Andrean.
Wow.
I think there was a crackback block.
Yeah, that's got to be what it was. With the screen set up there, that's probably the call.
So a 15-yard walk-off on the Niners. Looks like they only walked off 10.
Well, they declined to that and took the holding call, I believe.
I would take the extra 5 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. But I saw the decline, and then I saw holding.
Okay. So they declined the personal foul. They accepted the holding. 2 fouls on the play. And I think they're going to say they need to walk off 5 more. Let's see what happens here.
Referees having some sort of discussion.
Okay, they've sorted it out. Andrean pushed back to the 34-yard line. 12 seconds to go. 2nd down and 16 miles. Actually, it looks like about 17 yards for the Niners to gain the first down. Remember, they converted a 3rd and 18 in the first half. So Alish back with the reception. He's got a man on the wheel. He's wide open. Oh, and it's a great play at the last minute. Excellent defensive play by Jason Parker. Just got his hand in at the last minute.
That's just how you teach it right there. Turned around right when the ball was delivered, got his hands up, made a play.
Take a look at the replay on that defended pass from Parker. That was a good job.
Textbook.
That very last minute, just got his head up. That is a great defensive play.
He's going to get some love in the film room this week.
That's what I'm talking about. And who's hot? That's by Cruiswick Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning as I freeze. The quarter ends with Kankakee Valley on a good defensive play. Let's take a look one more time at that replay. Who's hot? Brought to us by Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Watch this defensive play. Hand in at just the very last minute. And that's the way the third quarter ends. It'll be Andrean ball 3rd and 10 on the 42-yard line when we come back. But the end of 3 quarters of play, our score is Andrean 21, Kankakee Valley nothing. Regional Radio Sports.
For a quarter century, Forest Ridge Family Dentistry in Schererville has been serving the dental, cosmetic, and restorative needs of Northwest Indiana and the Chicagoland suburbs. Most dental insurances are accepted and financing options are available. I have put my trust in their skilled hands since 1986. So why don't you schedule that appointment today at 219-756-2345 or look them up on the web at forestridgefamilydentistry.com. Mention that you heard this ad and receive a special discount at Forest Ridge Family Dentistry, 7303 Forest Ridge Drive in Schererville for all your dental needs.
Personal injury attorney Dave Cox proudly supports Region football and wishes the Niners best of luck this season. We hope you never need his services, but if you were hurt in a wreck, call Cox. Attorney Cox is a life member of the $1 Million Advocates Forum and is dedicated to representing seriously injured victims of negligence and getting fair and just results. For a free consultation and to discuss his best game plan in your case, call or text 219-CALL-COX. That's 219-225-5269. Or check them out online at davecoxlaw.com. Cox Law Office, located at 8792 East Ridge Road in Hobart. Fourth quarter of play brought to you by Property Management, Inc., Northwest Indiana. Did you know that PMI NWI is the highest rated property management company in Northwest Indiana? Whether you own one property or multiple, they're here to make your life easier. No contracts required. Their website, PMINWI.com. Their phone number, 219-318-1244. And don't forget to check out the Google reviews. Their website, PMINWI.com. So it's going to be 3rd down and 17 yards to go. Excellent play out there defensively by Jason Parker, the senior. Bad snap. Instead, they hand it off inside.
McCall.
And a break. It's McCall on the outside. Good tackle in the open field by Grayley Weaver. Weaver with a nice open field tackle. Give him a gain of 5, but it could have been a lot more. And now the Niners have to punt. Let's see what the Cougars can do.
Just string together a few first downs, make some progress down the field, see if it can lead to something.
Shoestring tackle by Weaver.
Kustra and Eichmann both back here to receive.
And you can see what a great play out there by Weaver. Weaver was at the linebacker spot that time.
Almost looked like Weaver got him with one arm.
True. Here comes the punt on the way, and that's a good one. Ball's going to go towards the sideline. Looks like it's going to go out just around the 20. Let's see where they spot it. Officials are going to put the ball down. Let's see where they place it. It's at the 22-yard line, and that's where Kankakee Valley will start, 1st and 10.
See if Arroyo and company can get some things rolling.
Something has to happen. You know, I have drive sheets. I'm only using 3 of them. And that's the way this game's gone. It's been kind of methodical.
Mm-hmm.
It's good use of the word methodical. I went to college. Ball's on the 22-yard line, 11 minutes to go in the quarter. Kankakee Valley trying to muster some sort of an offense. Arroyo again looking for the snap. He'll hand it to Castro. Weaver now stands in the sidelines. Weaver went to block his man. Instead, Weaver put his arms out sideways so he wouldn't get called for the crackback.
Smart.
Weaver is a smart player. Give him a gain of 1. Actually, we'll call him 2. Mike Coffer says 1. I say 1. Thank you, Mike Coffer.
Yeah, just tough sledding tonight for Marco Castro.
It has been. And the idea is let's crowd the box with that giant defensive line for Andrean. And you can see it's a bunch formation. Instead, good job by Arroyo for the read option. Arroyo held it very, very long. Give Arroyo a gain of 3. He held it as long as he could to see if he could use it. The Andrean 59ers up front go 220, 200, and 215. But they put extra players up front. Landon Murray is listed as 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Yeah,
now look,
he's huge.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy. And he's been making the right and left tackles for KV work all night.
Angel Torres is listed as 215. He looks more like 225 to me. Again, Arroyo takes the snap for the Cougars. They'll look for the pitch to the outside. They finally get it to Castro, but Castro gets strung out to the outside, and it's a little ankle biting. Castro gets back to the original line, called no gain. Think about how hard he's had to work for no gain tonight.
So much. The yards east to west have been 300 alone.
Right. So 4th down and 5 will be the call now on the 27-yard line. 9:35 to go in this ball game. 21-0. Andrean with the lead. Niners came in giving up 10.5 points a game. KV hasn't really equated themselves very well offensively.
No.
But defensively, they've done the best they can. Nice punt down there towards the end zone, and it's been touched. Finley's got it. Takes a run to the outside. Now Finley tries to get there, but he doesn't. Good punt. Anderson with the stop for KV. Ball all the way back to the 28-yard line.
Jaden Anderson, Ed Ritchie, some of these linebackers may be making a bid to be our player of the game.
It's your call. I'm not going to be the one to make the call. It's one thing my color analyst has to do.
We'll
take a look at that punt coverage very quickly. The ball went back, and Finley messed it up. Went all the way back to the 18-yard line, and that's where he was pulled down. Back to live action. Andrean on the 28-yard line. Ellis again has got a man in motion, and it's going to be another flag. Let's see what the call is going to be. It's illegal motion on Andrean. Andrean's trying to do whatever they can. Take a look one more time as they walk back. Take a look at this, Monty. So Finley goes back, goes to get the ball, loses it. He's coming around the other side. Here's Weaver in chase, and Anderson just was right there like a wall.
Yep.
Good tackle by Anderson. 9:23 to go in the quarter. KB trailing by 3 scores.
In the front four, Weaver's done a nice job from the defensive tackle spot.
He
but
has.
Ed Ritchie, Marco Castro, Jaden Anderson have all played 3 strong games at the linebacker position.
And we might be seeing a lot more George Flores now, too. And here comes a jump pass. Good job by Anderson to get there.
Yep. Called his name a few times on the screen pass tonight.
And that reception was by Ethan Reyna. Reyna got the reception, and here's the deal. He lost 7. Actually, we'll call it a loss of, I'm looking at it.
2, I think, because there was a false start before that.
5, and went back. I'm looking at the math here. 8, 9. Call it a loss of 4. This is where a spotter comes in handy. See if our cameraman Nick Shallon knows anybody that wants to come become a spotter. We can do spotter commercials. 8:43 with the clock running. Again, they'll hand it off inside. And I do believe the ball was handed to number 5, Javier McCoy. Let's see who jumps out of the pile. Nope. Number 1, it was Ellis Dumas. So Dumas gets a couple yards back.
3rd in quite a while here for the 59ers.
It is. 3rd and 17. That was quick math. 3rd and 17. Ball's just outside the 22-yard line. Here comes the snap. He's got time in a man. Ball in the air, and it's received. Oh, and the Cougars lost it.
Brad Whaley.
And the ball's still on and the player's still on the run to the outside. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. The reception was for Jimmy Finley. He took it all the way to the house. So for Finley, it's going to be a 78-yard touchdown reception. It's a Countryside Realty house call. KV just lost him in the secondary.
Yeah, I think Brev Whaley got turned around. He was in coverage originally. And then Jimmy Finley got it, did a little zigzagging all the way down for a Countryside Realty house call.
And once he got in the secondary, you take a look. We'll take a look at the replay once we get there. Wait for the extra point. We'll see that first, and we'll show you the replay. So Cusack's had a good day. He's 3 for 3 on extra points, trying to make it 4 for 4. 78 yards on the touchdown reception to Finley. You said he was a difference maker. Spot, kick, up, good. So the kick is good, makes it 28-0. Finley from 78 yards out.
Whew. Good ball delivered from Brady Ellis as well.
Well, with that receiver, it's hard to beat.
That's true.
So on that drive, 3 plays, believe it or not, 72 yards, even though it was a 78-yard reception because of the penalty.
Yeah.
1 minute on the drive.
It's a tough one to swallow here tonight for the Cougars. Again, Vince, the last 7:43, Cougars just playing for pride.
Here's the replay. Again, that replay brought to us by our friends at Cruisewick Plumbing. Take a look. Pass in the flat. Receiver gets out there, and all 3 defensive backs are turned around. And here he comes around the corner, and he gets a good downfield block. And once he turns the corner, he's just too quick. No chance for anybody defensively to get him. It's a Countryside Realty house call. Again, that touchdown brought to us by Countryside Realty, the preferred realtors of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Anytime you find the end zone, it's a Countryside Realty house call. Find them at 987-CELL, 987-7355, on the web at 987cell.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Serving all of Northwest Indiana, Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. So 28-0, KV trailing in this ball game. And that's something that you don't want to see on film, is all 3 defensive backs turned in the wrong direction. But Again, we talked about Finley. Jimmy Finley's a ball player. Here's an end-over-end kick, another touchback. It'll be the 4th touchback of the night. 3 touchbacks and a penalty, actually. Cougars haven't taken a kickoff return back tonight. KV will start out on their own 20. 7:43 to go in this ball game. 1 minute, 3 plays, 72 yards. Jimmy Finley, a 78-yard touchdown reception from Eilish. He's had a long night.
It is. It's tough to go back to the well here. What do? You feel like when you drop back for passes, the defensive line for the 59ers have been in the face of Arroyo all night, but unable to get the run game really moving as well. So in a tough
Cougars
spot.
are still moving in the right direction this season. If they do lose this ball game, they'll drop to 2-1. Now it's a fake handoff, a pass inside, and a great hit downfield. That ball was intended for Kustra.
Yeah, Jaden Holmes, the senior safety there, laid the wood on Nolan Kustra.
Laid the wood. That's what we need in the lumberyard. That's what we need. Giving Mike Knezovich ideas. Yeah, and he did lay the wood. When the pass came through, it just right there. Kustra went to get back behind his back shoulder. Couldn't receive it. So Cougars back to the line. Clock stopped. 7:40, 2nd and 10, ball in the 20. Play clock down to 10.
Movement here, I think, on the Cougars.
Let's see what the call is going to be. It is illegal motion on the Cougars, so that'll push them back 5, make it 2nd down and 15. That was a serious hit.
That was.
Don't forget the end of tonight's ball game. We'll have our players of the game. They'll be brought to us by our friends at Ivy Tech Lake County. So a long night for Kankakee Valley, but that doesn't matter. It's only the 3rd game of the season, only the 1st week of September. As Arroyo comes back to pass, now he breaks contain. Arroyo to the outside. He's still got it in his hands. Throws it across, incomplete. And that looks like a late hit. They're not going to call it, though.
Yeah, Castro got licked pretty good there. And again, Arroyo, as I mentioned at the beginning of the game, needs to be smart. That's not necessarily the best play when you're rolling out there to have to double pump and hold the ball up and then finally try to dump it into coverage when there's 2 or 3 59ers already in the vicinity.
See the end of that play at least and see what the hit was. Yeah, and I think the plan tonight for Andrean was to hurt Castro and hit him as hard as they could, as much as they could. Make him feel the pain and let's see how he recovers next week.
Yeah.
Again, KV next week, they'll be taking on Hobart at the Brickyard. We'll be there as well. Looking forward to Mike Black and the boys there. We've had fun there in the past. Here's Castro. Castro in the secondary. His best gain of the night. Castro finds his way forward all the way to the 30-yard line. Give him a gain of 15. It's a 1st down.
Who else, Vince? Exactly when the Cougars need somebody to answer the bell, it's Marco Castro.
Castro with a gain of 15. So Marco Castro not giving up. 7:20 clock running. Ball now on the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Cougars. Play clock down to 17. We'll have a post-game report. We'll bring you our statistics, our players of the game, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow's soccer broadcast. Kankakee Valley on the road at Maryville. Castro again with the high running style. Bounces to the outside. Castro Trill's trying to get there, and there's a flag on the play.
Something involving that hit, I believe.
Mitchell Myers came in there hard, but he actually blew past Castro. Give Castro a gain of 2. Let's see what the call is. It's going to be against Andrean. So a rush of 2 for Castro. It's going to be personal foul. Targeting. Oh, my. So that looks like number 22 is coming out of the game. So that might be the end of the night for Mitchell Myers. They called targeting, so let's see if they eject the player.
Certainly a big-time hit there on Castro.
So they're going to add 15 yards to the end of this play.
What was already a 5-yard pickup?
Yep, puts the Cougars almost in midfield. Ball's on the 48-yard line after the 15-yard penalty for targeting. Here's a scary thing. Game 3.
Yeah.
Castro gets to his century mark. He'll be at 760 yards for the season. Last year, 1,700 total. Hand it to Castro again. He gets to the outside. Castro gets his face mask pulled, but he does not get the call. Give Castro another gain of 6. He's starting to get serious.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean,
where's he at right now?
He is at 78 yards.
78 yards on the day for Castro, and they've all been well earned. Cougars have a short down and distance. It's 2nd down and 4. Ball's at the Andrean 47, 46-yard line. 6:21 to go in this ball game. Kuster in a power formation. They hand it again to Castro. Castro fighting his way to the outside. He doesn't stop. Give Castro another gain of 2. So now it's going to be a short down and distance. KV's got to convert this first down right here.
Do. They certainly do. Castro, as we mentioned, Vince, he just continues to wear on you as you go throughout the game. Not how big these Andrean 59er defenders are. Castro's going to make his presence known.
80 yards on the ball game for Castro. Castro trying to eclipse the century mark one more time. They hand it to Castro. He fights his way forward in the pile. He's there. It's going to be close.
He's just short.
I don't think they're going to give it to him. Give him 1 yard. No reason not to go for it here.
Yep. Went for it earlier on a 4th and 1, handed the ball to Castro, and were stuffed. See if they can pick it up this time.
So now they're going to bring in Michael McCooley. Michael McCooley's as big as a vending machine.
Yeah, the jumbo package.
The jumbo package here. Michael McCooley is a freshman, 6'3", 320 pounds.
Whew.
So he'll be in the middle of that defensive line. So McCooley inside, and they know where they want to go with the ball. They hand it to Castro. Castro gets his 1, and then some. Castro down to the 35. Castro gets a gain of 7 and a Cougar first down.
Great blocking there from the Cougar O-line.
That was a statement for the Cougars.
It was, allowing Castro to pick up 7.
Castro up to 87 yards in the ball game. Grayley Weaver sauntering off the sidelines. Make a strong argument that Grayley Weaver could be our defensive player of the game.
I think he could be I certainly agree.
Now another handoff to Castro. Jump cut inside. Castro with another gain of 2. Call it 3. So Castro with 3 more. He's up to 90. And again, I'm not looking for statistics, but I think that Marco Castro was a marked man. They stuffed the box all night long.
Yeah.
If Castro can put up triple digits against this defense, he's going to be tough the remainder of this season. Castro's laboring back there just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's being asked to play both ways. It's been a really physical ball game on both
Isaac
sides.
Deerdorf in for double tight ends. Anderson and Deerdorf on the near side. Look for the Cougars to run to that side. Here they go. Student body right. Castro out there, and here come bodies coming inside. Castro with a gain of 4. Call it 3 for Castro. So on this drive, the Cougars already with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plays. Longest sustained drive for the Cougars as they're winding towards 4 minutes and 10 seconds on this drive. 3:33 left in this ball game. Kankakee Valley on the 30-yard line. They need a little less than 5 to get a first down.
All run plays, too, I believe, on this drive.
1 passing play. That was the original play on the drive for Arroyo where Castro got hit, and then the penalty.
Yep.
So power backfield. They again hand it this time to Kustra. Flag on the play down the field. Kustra fought his way to the marker. He had a lead block from Castro. It was Kustra on the carry. Let's see what the flag is. Do believe it's an illegal block downfield. Let's see. Cougars are walking backwards. Holding on Kankakee Valley. So there's a reason Kustra had a lot of room. Clock stopped with just a little over 3 minutes. 3:03 left in the ball game. 3rd and 5 becomes 3rd and 15. 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
Call it 3rd and 14 for the Cougars.
Well, Vince, if you want to draw on some positives tonight for the Cougars, I thought the defense really, for the most part, held its own.
Yep.
Few late big plays, but especially in the first half, most of the way through this half.
Yep.
Cougars D has been pretty bright.
I agree. So now it's going to be a fake handoff. Arroyo can't get rid of it. He does finally. He's got a man downfield.
Weaver.
It's Weaver. Weaver down to the end zone. He's in for the no. He's at the 1 yard line, and Weaver felt it. So on that gain, give Weaver a gain of 45 yards for Grayley Weaver. Weaver wanted that touchdown too.
Yeah, he really did.
And he's hurt right now. Shoulder, I think. So let's see if they hand the ball to Castro. He's got 6 touchdowns. See if they can make it 7.
Weaver should have been in, but that ball hung too long in the air. He was seen too late as well.
Absolutely. Great pass by Arroyo. Don't blame me. I missed the replay. Hand it to Castro. Castro fights his way forward. He's not going to get there. Castro with no gain. Pulled out of the pile by 75.
Michael McCulkey.
Michael Muckley again. 6'3", 320. No gain on that. 45 yards on the reception. Weaver's back in the ball game. He's hurting.
He's just gritty.
He's hurting.
He'd play through anything.
He would. He's a hurting unit out there right now. Cougars are back to the 2 yard line. 2nd and goal. 2 minutes in the ball game. 2 minutes. Weaver on the near side. Let's see if they run here. They hand it to Castro. No, they don't. It's Arroyo. Arroyo gets cut down. Now it's another loss of 3.
Number 12, Gavin Jones, the cornerback, comes down and cuts down Arroyo.
So Gavin Jones gets the stop. Now the Cougars going in the wrong direction. It's 3rd and 5. And they're inside the Family Express red zone. Third and 5.
4 down territory, obviously, the rest of the way.
Absolutely. No field goal here. Minute 19 clock going. Cougars in no hurry. Now Weaver to the far side. He's joined out there by number 7, Jason Parker. Let's see if they run towards that side. Instead, they're going to roll Arroyo that way. Arroyo with a pass in the flat. It's in the end zone. Kustra with a Countryside Realty house call.
Great to see Nolan Kustra secure that ball, turn it up, punch it in for 6.
So Kustra gets the 5-yard touchdown reception. 5 yards out for Kustra. So Kustra gets the touchdown. 28-6 is our score. On that drive was 80 yards.
Can't fault the Cougars for showing some fight tonight, Vince.
So that would be 6 minutes and 40 seconds the time on the drive. Rubalcaba on for the extra point. Snap down, hold on the way, kick. And it's really good. So the extra point makes it 28-7. Good job by Kustra to get the touchdown.
Big connection to Grayley Weaver on that drive. Maybe the biggest play, definitely the biggest offensive play of the night for the Cougars.
And we'll show you the extra point at least. We can show you what that looks like. Snap and hold, and this is where special teams is going to help the Cougars down the road. Rubalcaba with a nice leg through. But Grayley Weaver with the reception for 45 yards. Less than a minute for the Cougars.
At least points here at the end gives the Cougars something they can build off on offensively heading into the next contest as they go to the Brickyard.
So KV was 3 and out on their first drive of this half. On this sheet, I should say. Finley with a 78-yard touchdown reception, which made it 28-0. KV came back playing for pride, and they did. 80 yards. Total plays is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's encouraging. 13-play drive. Every day of the week, I'll take that. So 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in this ball game. Again, it was a Countryside Realty house call. Countryside Realty, the official realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. And again, they have Countryside Realty house call. So 28-7. Kankakee Valley played well in the second half. I really think that Grayley Weaver had a pretty good ball game.
He did.
23-yard. He had 2 receptions.
He's making
today.
quite the bid to be our player of the game.
Absolutely. Now here comes Rubalcaba with the kickoff. Ball end over end. It'll be taken at the 5. Now up to the 15 to the 20.
Gavin Jones.
Gavin Jones still on his feet. Jones on the outside. There's a hold downfield. Jones will get stopped. He's still on his feet. Kustra and guess who on the tackle? 23, Grayley Weaver.
Again, Weaver laboring still.
Weaver with the stop. He's having a hard time getting up.
It's the kind of thing, though, as a teammate of Weaver, you see him battle and you want to go out there and battle with him.
Weaver just trying to. Weaver gets a stop. He's staying out there.
Of course he is.
Okay, so let's see what the penalty is. Going to be holding on Andrean. So they'll mark it off from the spot of the foul, which erased a really nice return from Gavin Jones, the junior, at 160 pounds. Prediction for Andrean this season. What are they looking like the rest of the way home?
Yeah, I think they certainly can rally the troops after dropping a couple tough ones to start the season at Maryville, at Valpo. I can see them righting the ship. Certainly some tough games left on the schedule as well. I think they got another 4 or 5 wins in them here down the stretch.
The Andrean 59ers were last defeated by Kankakee Valley back in 2012. The streak will continue. This will be 12 consecutive years that the Andrean 59ers have beaten the Kankakee Valley Cougars. But there are some encouraging signs from KV. And if you're an Andrean fan, you got to like the way this team looks.
Yeah, you really do. If they clean up the penalties, especially Vince, that's been a little bit of a bugaboo tonight. But if they can clean that up, they're certainly in a nice spot.
So next week we'll be at Hobart, where the Brickies will host us at the Brickyard. That game will also be simulcast on JED TV and WJOB. So victory formation for Andrean. Eilish will take a knee, and the clock winds at 51 seconds. Andrean started on their own 28-yard line. Final score is going to be 28-7. With the win, Andrean's going to improve their record to 1-2. They're 1-0 in the NCC. Kankakee Valley will drop to 2-1, and they will now be 0-1 in conference. Teams are walking over for the handshake line as the clock continues to wind. Nick Shallon will get that look as well.
Tough result tonight for the Cougars.
Absolutely.
But battled all the way through.
So our final score is going to be Andrean 28, Kankakee Valley 7. Go ahead and take a 2-minute video timeout. Come back and bring our post-game report. Andrean gets a win on the road against Kankakee Valley 28-7. And you heard it and saw it here on Regional Radio Sports.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Jeff loves his coffee. Raised in the region and values great quality for a great price. Jeff knows Family Express carefully sources its espresso beans from around the world, giving him a high-quality drink that won't bust his wallet. Fresh milk lattes, all-natural flavorings, a perfect cup every time. Family Express, quality espresso made for you.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Looking to lead with purpose? Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is the game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together they discover the true essence of leadership, Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon or go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more. Back here at Kankakee Valley, putting a bow on a 28-7 Andrean victory. Post-game report brought to us by Ivy Tech Lake County. Did you miss the start of the fall semester at Ivy Tech Community College Lake County? You can still enroll in classes that begin in October. Their next set of 8-week classes starts on October the 21st. This means you have time this year to earn credits towards your degree or certificate. Whether you're fresh out of high school or a working adult, Ivy Tech has flexible programs that fit your schedule and budget. Visit ivytech.edu to enroll or apply. Call 219-392-3600. You can visit their locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary. Let Ivy Tech be your first step to success. Well, Monty, before you give me our statistics, because I see the sparks coming off your pen over there, give you our second half drive chart. Again, brought to us by our friends at Ivy Tech, and really is a kind of a short drive chart. First half was kind of methodical. Second half as well. Andrean got the ball to start the second half, but they had to give the ball back to KV. KV went 3 and out, and they gave the ball back to Andrean, who took over with 7:57 in the third quarter. They went 8 plays, 65 yards. Ellis Dumas put the ball into the end zone at the end of that drive. 2 personal pass interference penalties on KV. Moved the score to 21-0 Andrean. Next time up, KV punted the ball, gave the ball back to Andrean. Andrean punted the ball to Kankakee Valley. Kankakee Valley went 3 and out. Andrean took the ball with 8:43 to go in the fourth quarter. On their own 28-yard line, they went 3 plays, 72 yards, including a 78-yard touchdown reception from number 15. That's going to be Jimmy Finley, the senior. Finley took it to the house from 78 yards out. 3 plays, 72-yard drive because there was a penalty. It took 1 minute, and Andrean was up 28-0 and in the driver's seat. Next drive for Kankakee Valley started after a touchback. 7:43 was the time when it started. It ended at 1:03, so 6 minutes and 40 seconds. 13 plays, 80 yards, capped out by Nolan Kustra. Touchdown reception from 5 yards out from Arroyo. Made it 28-7. Then Andrean took the ball over at the 28-yard line for victory formation and capped off a 28-7 victory against Kankakee Valley. So Kankakee Valley takes the loss, and much like last season, Monty, when they were down 17-0 before they realized that they could play with Andrean this year, kind of the same result, but more importantly, they played for pride at the end and got themselves back in the ball game. They were good to go. You have other statistics brought to us by Ivy Tech.
I certainly do. Looking at the passing numbers here tonight from the Andrean 59ers, Brady Ellish, numbers ended up looking okay, especially after that 78-yard touchdown late to Jimmy Finley. He completed 9 of his 19 passes for 155 yards, including 2 Countryside Realty house calls. First house call went to Tyler Vo, who unfortunately was unable to finish this game. The freshman went down on a tough route in the corner of the end zone. He had 4 catches for 40 yards, including that touchdown. Jimmy Finley, 3 catches, 105 yards, a Countryside Realty house call on a 78-yard deep ball. He was able to weave his way into the end zone for 6. Javier McCoy, the running back, also had a 19-yard grab out of the backfield. And then looking now at the passing numbers for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, Diego Arroyo, 6 of 9 tonight, 69 yards, 1 Countryside Realty house call. It came late to Nolan Kustra. Kustra had 4 grabs, 20 yards, including that touchdown. Grayley Weaver also pitching in, 2 grabs, 49 yards tonight. That rounds out the passing statistics for both sides. Looking now at the rushing numbers, and the guy we key in on every week for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, Marco Castro finishes tonight, Vince. 28 carries, 91 yards tonight for Marco Castro.
It's a tough night for Marco.
Very
you're
tough.
talking about 3 yards a carry, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And he was keyed on all night long by Andrean. The idea was stack the box.
It was.
I guess what people are going to be doing the rest of this year.
Stacking the box.
That's exactly right.
Looking at the other rushing numbers for the Cougars, Adrian Eichmann had 1 end around for 6 yards, and then finishing up with the 59ers rushing attack, they had 3 running backs that made a nice impact tonight for them. Ellis Dumas, 7 carries, 19 yards, including a touchdown, a 1-yard scamper into the end zone. Javier McCoy, freshman running back, who probably most impressed me this evening, 6 carries, 58 yards, including a Countryside Realty house call. And then Brady Stovall, saw him a lot in the first half, fumbled, and then didn't really see him again after that. 9 carries, 51 yards tonight for Brady Stovall. Brady Ellis, the quarterback, 5 carries, 30 yards, and then Jimmy Finley had a jet sweep for 22 yards to round out the scoring statistics tonight.
Our play of the game brought to us by the Indiana Football Digest. You can find them at indianafootballdigest.com. It'll be the 78-yard touchdown reception. We take a look at the highlight. Swing pass to the outside. Caught outside by Finley. Now take a look. The defensive backs were turned the wrong way, but the downfield blocking continued to open him up, and once he got the corner, he was gone to the end zone for a Countryside Realty house call. That play of the game brought to you by the Indiana Football Digest. You can find them on the web at indianafootballdigest.com. We'll take our final 2-minute timeout, and we come back. We'll give you our players of the game, and we'll put a bow on a tough night for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. The final, 28-7, Andrean with the lead, and you heard it here on Regional Radio Sports.
We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Go.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, before we move on, let's remind you who brought you Indiana High School football, and our sponsors include the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are Lyona, First Trust Credit Union, the Hamster Group, State Farm Insurance, the United States Marine Corps, and the Semper Fi Fund, Ivy Tech Lake County, Horizon Bank, CI Insurance, NITCO, Family Express, Property Management, Inc., Northwest Indiana. Game sponsors include Rooted Influence, Forest Ridge Family Dentistry, the Cox Law Offices in Hobart, Realtor Scott Miller of Pursue Realty Group in Berkshire Hathaway, a 5-star broker at listandbuywithscottmiller.com, Cruisewick Plumbing, Cubit Networks, Countryside Realty and the Countryside Realty House Call, Toppin Inc., and the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. And I'm going to do my friend Scott Miller a solid here real quick, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, my guy Scott Miller, I mentioned how good a guy Scott Miller is.
Yes, he's fantastic.
Players of the game will be brought to us by Scott Miller. In the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana, look no further than to Scott Miller. Scott Miller Realtor. Scott Miller is a 5-star rated broker with numerous awards and accolades such as top 1% of all teams within Berkshire Hathaway nationally. In addition, Scott Miller is in the top 15% Home Snap agents nationwide. He is the recipient of the Home Snap Excellence in Client Service Award based on his numerous client reviews and is a top producing agent throughout the region. Scott Miller, who was born and raised in Northwest Indiana, is an honest, hardworking agent who believes that communication with his clients is key. Scott enjoys spending time with his family and looks forward to helping your family as well. If you want results, call Scott Miller, Realtor of Berkshire Hathaway, HS Executive Realty. His number 219-263-3039. And don't forget to visit my guy Scott Miller at his website. It's scottmiller.com. BHHSexecutive.com for results that move you. In the market to buy or sell or both, you know what time it is. It's player of the game time, but it's also Scott Miller time. Love myself, Scott Miller. Scott Miller's a good guy. Scott has been a huge supporter of us on regional radio. I talked about it a little bit, Monty, and I said it before. Spent a little time with Scott Miller at our football preview show. I got a chance to help produce that broadcast over in Valpo. And Scott and I spent some time, and I asked him straight out, why do you do this? Why do you continue to support student athletes? I mean, what's your return for this? And he was real honest. He said, you know what my return is? I get to support student athletes. I get to support you guys. I appreciate the work that you do. I love Paul Condrey. Paul Condrey's been an influence on me. Think about that guy helping you buy a house.
I love
Thinking
that.
about that guy helping you to find your future. You got to talk to Scott Miller, folks. I recommend it highly. Scott Miller, one of my guys. And, Monty, we got one more piece of business. Scott Miller's also helping us bring our players of the game. Let's give it first for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. They dropped to 1-2 on the season, 0-1 in the NCC. Monty, I know that Marco was a marked man tonight, but our player of the game is a name that we called a lot. Give me the statistics and the name of the player of the game. Brought to us by Scott Miller of Berkshire Hathaway.
We do an unsung hero tonight. Kankakee Valley Cougars player of the game is Grayley Weaver. Grayley played a great game on both sides of the ball. On defense tonight, Vince, moved into that defensive tackle spot recently. He had 2 tackles for a loss, a big sack in the first half where he just ragdolled Brady Ellish in the backfield. And DeMai County had 9 tackles as well on the defensive side of the ball. And then offensively, led the Cougars in receiving tonight, had a big 45-yard catch, set up the touchdown, only points on the board tonight for the Cougars. 2 catches for 49 yards for Grayley Weaver. He's our player of the game.
So Grayley Weaver, the player of the game for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, and Andrean and Nick Shallon. Thank goodness Nick Shallon's listening. I said the Cougars went to 1-2. They're 2-1.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Andrean improves their record to 1-2. They're 1-0 in the NCC. They had a lot of candidates. I can think of a couple names. I thought their quarterback, Brady Eilish, had a good game. I thought the freshman running back, Javier McCoy, who checked in, had a good game. Ellis Dumas had a good game. They got a good run from Brady Stovall until he had that fumble. That was recovered by Nolan Kustra, who had a good ball game and a touchdown as well. Player of the game for the Andrean 59ers would be
Jimmy Finley tonight. The late touchdown sealed the deal for Finley, in my mind, at a 78-yard grab, weaving through the Kankakee Valley defense for the Countryside Realty House Call. He had 3 grabs for 105 yards, including the touchdown tonight. 22 more yards on the ground tonight, so 127 total yards for Jimmy Finley. He's our player of the game.
Players of the game, again, brought to us by our friend Scott Miller. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana, if you want results, you should call Scott Miller, the realtor of Berkshire Hathaway HS Executive Realty. His number 219-263-3039. The website, scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com for results that move you. It is Scott Miller time. So I want to give special thanks to the faculty and staff here at Kankakee Valley High School, including their athletic director, Joe Wagner, for their cooperation with today's broadcast. We also want to thank Joe for the very speedy internet connection. They worked all week on the connections up here in our press box. We also want to thank Ryan Myers, the principal at Kankakee Valley, for facilitating that as well. We want to thank Chris Skinner of Andrean for stats and Kirk Kennedy for pregame interview accessibility, and also our halftime guest. That would be Mike Coffer, the voice of the Cougars, for joining us as well. Next up for Andrean is a home conference game Friday the 13th with the Munster Mustangs, while Kankakee Valley hits the road and they travel to the Brickyard to match up with the Hobart Brickies. Pre-game coverage with this crew on RRSN.com video and Facebook Live will begin at 6:15 p.m. Central with kickoff scheduled for 7 o'clock. Indiana High School soccer is also on the docket tomorrow morning. I'm back to work less than 12 hours, Monty, on the Regional Radio Sports Network, as we'll have a non-conference battle between Bryan Pass, Maryville Pirates, and one of the other teams that call Fred Jones Field a home here, the Kankakee Valley Cougar boys. We'll be back on the air tomorrow morning with our pregame show at 11:15 Central, kickoff slated for noon. And the Hall of Famer Mike Knezovich will be joining me on that call. For all of our programming, be sure to check our website, rrsn.com. for times, scores, schedules, and a listing of the Regional Radio Sports Network affiliate in your area as we continue our positive promotion of student athletes. So for all of us here at the Regional Radio Sports Network and our crew at KV, cameraman Nick Shallon, my broadcast partner, he's a pro, Monty Lobb. This is Vince Gray reminding you our final score was the Andrean 59ers 28, the Kankakee Valley Cougars 7. Andrean is now 1-2 on the season, 1-0 in the NCC. Kankakee Valley is now 2-1, and they're 0-1 in conference. God bless America, and God bless you all. So long for now from Kankakee Valley High School here in scenic Wheatfield, Indiana.
Today's broadcast on the IHSAA Champions Network is presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992.